Welcome to Fantasy Audiobook, Fantasy, Invincible. Start from the Prodigal. Chapter 61. Butler Mang, this decision is up to you. There is only one chance. If you want Xiaofei to have a war saint body, then bring him to my guest room. Noticing Meng Tangyu, who was anxiously beside him, Yi Feng handed over the coolie directly to him. Butler Mang, no, I don't want it. If my father knew that I had such a powerful physique, he would definitely force me to fight every day. Those days would drive me crazy. Looking at Meng Tangyu, who was walking towards him step by step, Huang Xiaofei pleaded terribly. Let go of me, Butler Mang, let me go quickly, I don't want to fight War Saint. Yi Feng stood in the corridor on the second floor, watching Meng Tangyu with a livid face carrying Huang Xiaofei, who was struggling frantically upstairs. He was extremely happy with the decision he just made, otherwise this coolie life would be his. In the room. No. Huang Xiaofei saw a fragment exuding strange power in Yi Feng's hand, and the whole person was going crazy, but because his body was firmly held in place by Meng Tangyu, he couldn't move at all. 1, 10, 50. I don't know how long it took. When Huang Xiaofei fused the power of 10,000 War Saint body fragments, a dazzling golden light appeared all over his body, and at the same time, a terrifying atmosphere like Tathagata from the ancient times burst out, sweeping the whole place instantly. Town. Although the terrifying aura was fleeting, it made everyone in the entire town immersed in endless fear at this moment. A desolate space, the earth has long been rendered blood red by blood. The ground is littered with mutilated corpses, including humans, demonic beasts, and unidentified corpses. Not far away, on a mountain of corpses piled up with countless corpses, there stood a man covered in blood who was roaring in the sky. The countless wounds on his body that were deep and visible to the bones made people feel terrified just by seeing them. At this moment, a space rift that ripped apart the sky suddenly appeared, and countless demonic beasts, unknown creatures, and the army of human races crazily emerged from the space rift. Battle, fight, one after another, low but excited voices came from the man's mouth. With the dazzling golden light all over his body, the man pulled out the blood-filled war knife that was inserted on the mountain of corpses beside him, and directed towards the countless enemies in the distance, rushed over. As the man's figure is getting farther and farther, Huang Xiaofei's figure is getting closer and closer to the sight of Yi Feng and Meng Tangyu, as if the two have witnessed the inheritance of a generation of god of war with their own eyes. Call. When the two woke up from the illusion just now, they both began to gasp for breath. System, what is your uncle, you call this a broken physique? Yi Feng was also scolding the system in his heart at this time. In his opinion, this War Saint body has taken off so powerfully. Fighting War Saint body, such a terrifying fighting War Saint body, if the young master doesn't change himself, he doesn't deserve to have this fighting War Saint body at all. Meng Tangyu stared at Huang Xiaofei, and made an extremely crazy decision in his heart. Gudong. And Huang Xiaofei, who didn't know anything, looked at the two of them and looked at Owen with terrible eyes, but it made him swallow his saliva and felt very uneasy. Ding! Congratulations to the host for defeating today's Prodigal products, rewarding 1000 Prodigal points, and rewarding the 9th rank Yin and Yang Stray Flag 3. 9th rank 9th Order Yin and Yang Disappearance Array. Release a little spirit power to activate the array flag, which can immediately set up Yin and Yang disappearance formation that is enough to trap the peak powerhouse of the 9th stage and transcends tribulation, lasts 10 hours. What? This reward is not bad. It just takes 3 days to get to the Star Soul sect. With this flag, I can sleep well every night, and I don't have to worry about being disturbed. Although this array of flags is definitely one of the powerful cards in the hands of others, for Yi Feng, the prodigal god, to be able to use this array of flags when sleeping at night is already a very good face for this 9th rank 9th order array flag. Brother Yi, are you finished? Why don't I feel anything? But I can say it first, no matter how powerful this War Saint body is, but it is buried in my hands, don't blame me, I said I don't want it. After moving his body again, Huang Xiaofei, who still didn't feel anything unusual in his body, hurriedly said to Yi Feng. Will not. After we send young Master Yi back to sect, I will apply to the president to guide you personally. Every battle I will guide you in the future will be a life and death battle. If you don't fight with me with all your strength, I will never let you go. If you die, your subordinates will accompany you. Hearing this icy voice, Yi Feng and Huang Xiaofei both looked at the expressionless Meng Tangyu with disbelief. Xiaofei, ask yourself for more happiness. Butler Meng is definitely not joking. You will never know what the two of us have just witnessed. Patting Huang Xiaofei's shoulder, Yi Feng left the guest room directly. He understood Meng Tangyu's decision, because the scene he saw before was really shocking. 10 minutes later, Meng Tangyu left the town with Yi Feng and Huang Xiaofei, and rushed towards the Star Soul sect again. The day passed in a blink of an eye, and as night fell, because there was no town nearby, I could only find a spacious place to rest on the spot. Yi Feng didn't know what Meng Tangyu said to Huang Xiaofei after he left, but Huang Xiaofei became very quiet during the day, and no one knew what he was thinking. Butler Meng, guide me from now on. Just as Yi Feng was laying on the spirit stone's bed made of spirit stones and preparing to rest, Huang Xiaofei, who had been silent all day, finally spoke. What's the situation? Haven't you resisted strongly before? How did this change in just one day? Looking at Huang Xiaofei with a serious face, Yi Feng suddenly had a feeling that the other party had tricked him into fighting the War Saint body. But the reward given by the system is enough to prove that giving the War Saint body to Huang Xiaofei is indeed a prodigal act, so Yi Feng is now very curious as to why Huang Xiaofei made such a decision. Never mind. Yi Feng originally wanted to use the spying function to know this secret, but finally gave up. If he knew everything, it would be too boring. Pong, pong, pong. Seeing that the two were fighting directly with their swords in hand, Yi Feng took out the formation flag, released a trace of spiritual chi to activate the formation flag, and muttered to himself as he looked at the black formation flag that flew directly above the three of them. You guys, if you beat you, I will sleep with mine, and there will be an array of flags, and no one will disturb us. Having said that, Yi Feng took out another 109 pattern blood ginseng pills and put them aside, and then lay down on the spirit stone's bed and fell asleep. What the three of them didn't know was that an old man in grey robe was rushing towards their location at full speed. No accident, he would arrive at their location in a few minutes. 3 minutes later. Stop. When the grey-robed old man saw Huang Xiaofei and Meng Tangyu who were fighting desperately, he shouted anxiously. What happened? Are these two stinky boys really as crazy as the president said? Seeing that the two of them didn't respond when they heard their own voice, Meng Haifeng rushed towards the two of them with anxiety. Formation. However, when Meng Haifeng found that he was less than 10 meters away from the two of them, no matter how much he rushed, he couldn't get close to them. He suddenly thought of something and looked directly at Yi Feng, who was sleeping on the spirit stone's bed. That person should be young Master Yi, as the president said. At such a young age, it is impossible for him to achieve such a high level of formation skills. That must be the use of a formation flag, and it is a very high-grade formation flag. Otherwise, it is impossible to trap me. After all, I am a powerful cultivation base with the 4th stage of the Transcends Tribulation. Meng Tangyu, stop me now. Are you crazy? At this moment, Huang Xiaofei was seriously injured and fell to the ground and vomited a mouthful of blood. Meng Tangyu, with a cold expression, held the sword and rushed directly to the opponent and chopped it down. Seeing this scene, Meng Haifeng shouted again anxiously. Boom! With a loud bang, Meng Haifeng also let out a long sigh of relief after seeing Huang Xiaofei turn his body with all his strength to avoid the fatal blow at the last moment, and the robe on his back was soaked with cold sweat. Just now, his son almost hacked to death his young master. If Huang Xiaofei escaped by chance, thinking of this, he would not dare to think about it any longer. The flag. Where the hell is the flag? I don't understand formation, and it's still such a high-grade array flag, I can't find a way to crack it. Seeing that the two people below who have become blood people are still fighting with all their strength, Meng Haifeng is in a state of urgency, but he can't solve the formation barrier in front of him at all. Pong, pong. At this time, Huang Xiaofei and Meng Tangyu below were finally exhausted and both fell to the ground. It's over at last. And seeing the two of them falling to the ground with exhaustion, Meng Haifeng, who was rushing around in the maze, finally breathed a sigh of relief. What are they going to do? Soon, Meng Haifeng found something different. The two, who were both severely injured and exhausted, were crawling in the direction of Yi Feng at this time. Firm eyes, unyielding fighting spirit. When Meng Haifeng saw Huang Xiaofei's state at this time, his whole body trembled suddenly, and he couldn't believe that this was the playful young master he had seen since he was a child. That is, Blood Ginseng Dan. As the two kept crawling, Meng Haifeng's gaze also turned to the position of the two's gazes, and 100 blood-colored medicine pills wrapped in blood qi were neatly placed on the ground. It took a full 2 minutes for Huang Xiaofei and Meng Tangyu to climb to the front of the blood ginseng pill. Without any hesitation, they each took a blood ginseng pill and swallowed it. The terrifying medicinal effect began to rapidly heal the wounded bodies of the two. 5 minutes later, Huang Xiaofei recovered completely with just 1 blood ginseng pill, while Meng Tangyu used 2 blood ginseng pills. Butler Meng, fight again. I've already felt a tinge of war saint. Huang Xiaofei looked at Meng Tangyu full of fighting intent and said aloud. Clang. Without any unnecessary nonsense, Meng Tangyu made a crisp sound from the sword in his hand, and charged directly towards Huang Xiaofei. Crazy. You guys are really crazy. Seeing that the two fought together again after recovering from their injuries with the lost blood ginseng Dan, Meng Haifeng's mentality completely collapsed. 1 hour, 2 hours, 7 hours. The sky was slightly bright, and the two were still fighting with all their strength. During these 5 hours, they swallowed the blood ginseng pill 4 times. At this moment, a faint golden light flashed on Huang Xiaofei's body, but because of the appearance of the sun, the faint golden light was directly covered up. Madman, spendthrift. At this time, Meng Haifeng was sitting 10 meters away from the two and swearing constantly. Even if they were fighting, they could not be fatal. As long as there was one mistake, it would really kill people. Moreover, even if you were seriously injured, you can't take the legendary blood ginseng pill. After all, there are many kinds of medicine pills that can heal injuries. Thinking of the 15 blood ginseng pills they had taken, Meng Haifeng felt that blood was dripping from his heart, and every blood ginseng pill was priceless. If Meng Haifeng knew that all those blood ginseng pills were the legendary 9-pattern medicine pill, he would have fainted from anger at this moment. Another 2 hours passed. Yi Feng also woke up from his deep sleep and felt a little boring when he saw the two who were still fighting. Just when Yi Feng was about to check out today's Prodigal products, he suddenly saw Meng Haifeng sitting on the ground scolding not far away, which made his face change slightly, and secretly said, "Fortunately, I used a flag last night." Checking that there was still an hour left in the formation flag, Yi Feng took out another formation flag directly from the system space and threw it out. The target was the malicious gray-robed old man Meng Haifeng. Okay, this array of flags can trap that old guy for 10 hours. With Steward Meng's speed, he can't catch up after 10 hours of exhaustion. Even if he can catch up, Daddy will give him another array of flags. Thinking of this, Yi Feng also showed a hint of pride. Has he seen me? It seems that the effect of this maze is very strange. People outside can see the people in the maze, and as the controller of the flag, he can also see the people outside, but he doesn't know that those two guys can't see me anymore. Seeing that Yi Feng had just noticed himself, Meng Haifeng also guessed some effects of this high-grade maze. That's fine too. I want to see how long you can support this flag. Once the strength of the flags is exhausted, I will learn to teach you what you are capable of, and see how you drove the young master and my son crazy. Thinking of this, Meng Haifeng's attention once again fell on Huang Xiaofei and Meng Tangyu, who were in the fierce battle. At this time, he did not notice that Yi Feng threw a formation flag at him in the blink of an eye. Okay, stop fighting, let's hurry up. Yi Feng stopped the two fighting at this time, urging them to hurry up. Butler Meng, it's important to hurry, let's continue at night. At this time, Huang Xiaofei said aloud with unabated fighting intent. Under the influence of the flag, Huang Xiaofei and Meng Tangyu did not see Meng Haifeng, who had been waiting outside for most of the night. Want to go? Seeing that Meng Tangyu brought Yi Feng and Huang Xiaofei up to the sky with his flying sword, Meng Haifeng sneered, and also offered flying sword to stop the three directly. However, when he rushed out more than 10 meters, he found himself in the original position strangely, and suddenly realized that he was probably trapped in the maze. It's him. At this time, Meng Haifeng looked at the three people who were far away, and just saw Yi Feng turned his head and raised a middle finger at him. What? Feeling Yi Feng's endless humiliation to his own, Meng Haifeng angrily released the huge spiritual qi in his body and began to bombard the surrounding frantically, trying to find the hidden flag. 2 hours later, Meng Haifeng, who had consumed most of the spirit power in his body, finally calmed down. He stopped consuming spirit power indiscriminately, but sat in lotus position and swallowed a medicine pill cultivation that restored spirit power. The other side. You two big fools, I'm afraid you don't know that I blocked the enemy for you last night. Thinking that the gray-robed old man had been staring at Huang Xiaofei and Meng Tangyu with anger-filled eyes, Yi Feng thought that they were definitely their enemies. After all, a chamber of commerce that has been passed down for thousands of years, what would happen in this world of the weak or prey to the strong? There may be no enemies. Not to mention that Huang Xiaofei is the young master of the Chamber of Commerce. Isn't it extremely normal for opponents to come to intercept the news after hearing the news? Today's prodigal product. Juan Zushan Dan 10,000. Depend on. When Yi Feng saw that today's prodigal product turned out to be 10,009 pattern blood ginseng Dan, he couldn't help but swear. Of the 1,000 rewarded before, there are still more than 300 left. The most important thing is that these 10,000 pieces have to be defeated today. Thinking of the situation where the three of them had eaten more than 200 pieces before they were full, he felt that today's prodigal products were a bit tricky. And many more. Why do you have to eat it up? Can't I just throw it away? Thinking of this, Yi Feng asked the system directly. System, this 9 pattern and 8 grade blood ginseng pill is a lost medicine pill. I threw it hard along the way, or it was not found and eventually buried in Lois. Even if it was picked up, there must be a lot of people who don't know the goods, and maybe they will be eaten by some passing little demonic beasts, which should be a prodigal act. Ding. In line with the behavior of a prodigal. After a full 10 seconds, the sound of the system rang. That's it. Hearing the system's answer, Yi Feng also laughed. As long as the system admits that this is a prodigal act, then he doesn't need to worry about it after throwing it away. It looks like we haven't had breakfast yet. Hearing Yi Feng's question, Huang Xiaofei and Meng Tangyu also looked over, with a touch of embarrassment on their faces. Brother Yi, it's our fault. I didn't think about the possibility of sleeping in the wild. Huang Xiaofei looked at Yi Feng apologetically at this time and said. Apologize for what? I just remind you that you don't have breakfast, but I do. Saying that, Yi Feng took out a handful of 9 patterned blood ginseng pills. Forehead. When the two saw the 9 patterned blood ginseng pill in Yi Feng's hands, they looked at each other with a wry smile on their faces. Not pretending to be at all to say that the two of them really had enough to eat, even if the 9 patterned blood ginseng really tasted good, but only ate more than 200 pieces the day before yesterday, and it really was enough for one time. At least for a short time, I really don't want to eat it anymore, and last night, the two of them fought for their lives. If there are other high-grade healing medicine pills on their bodies, neither of them will eat a 9 pattern blood ginseng pill. What are you doing? Hurry up and eat. Seeing the two of them froze there, Yi Feng also urged them directly. 3 minutes later, when both of them ate 30 or 40 blood ginseng pills, they found that Yi Feng didn't eat them, but silently watched them eat them. Meng Tangyu asked inexplicably, Young Master Yi, why don't you eat them? Eat, I'm not hungry. Yi Feng looked at Meng Tangyu and explained with a smile. Hearing this, the two of them kept stuffing blood in their mouths, and the right hand of the ginseng pill was also a meal. They looked at each other but didn't say anything, but continued to eat. Finally, when the two ate more than 200 more, they waved their hands to indicate to Yi Feng that they really couldn't eat any more. When you're full, start activities. I still have more than 9,009 pattern blood ginseng pills here. Butler Meng, you continue to control the flying sword and go on the road. Xiaofei, you are responsible for constantly throwing the blood ginseng pills out along the way. Quote. Hearing this, Huang Xiaofei said quickly, Brother Yi, this is not good. If someone picks it up, it will probably affect the Chamber of Commerce's plan to exclusively sell blood ginseng pills, and these are all blood ginseng pills with 9 lines. Xiaofei, you're still the young master of the Chamber of Commerce, why don't you have any business mind? Even if these are all 9 pattern blood ginseng pills, after all, there are only more than 9,000 pieces, and if you use one, you will lose one. Looking at the entire Xuantian continent, what is this blood ginseng pill? Don't say I look down on your Chamber of Commerce, I just gave you pill recipes. Can the pill refining masters trained by your Chamber of Commerce make 9 pattern blood ginseng pills? Even if it can be refined, there are a few blood ginseng pills that can afford the 9 pattern, and the ones that can be sold in large quantities must be the 5-pattern, 6-pattern, and 7-pattern blood ginseng pills. And your Chamber of Commerce is aimed at the entire Schwantian continent. As long as there are enough pill refining masters, how many blood ginseng pills will be sold every day? 100,000. 1 million. Hearing Yi Feng's instruction, Huang Xiaofei was also embarrassed. As Yi Feng said, the blood ginseng pills that their Chamber of Commerce will sell every day will cost tens of millions. There are several affordable ones. Brother Yi, Xiaofei has been taught. Huang Xiaofei looked at Yi Feng sincerely and said. Time passed, and when night fell again, Huang Xiaofei finally threw the last blood ginseng pill out, and Yi Feng also successfully received a reward of 1,000 prodigal points, but there was no special reward. Without seeing the town along the way, the three could only sleep in the wild for one night again. You keep fighting. This time, Yi Feng surprisingly didn't sleep on the built spirit stone's bed, because there was only the last yin and yang stray flag left, so he was going to watch the night today. If the gray-robed old man dared to chase after him, he would backhand just throw it out at the opponent. You two guys, Daddy's heartbroken for you guys. Seeing Huang Xiaofei and Meng Tangyu fighting together again, Yi Feng felt that he was the reincarnation of the savior, not seeking fame or profit, and silently guarding the two. Ding. Remind the host that you can go to bed with peace of mind. If you are in danger, the prodigal guards will come to protect you on their own. At this moment, the system prompt sound suddenly sounded. System, I am a prodigal hero, but I am not a waste. Everything needs a prodigal guard. After a long time, I will feel that I am useless. Also, those medicine pill jars, martial skill jars, spiritual herbs jars, etc., I could have used those to get unlimited prodigal points, but why didn't I do that? I just didn't want to be a machine that only knew how to reap prodigal points. Quote. Yi Feng was an overtime dog in the last life. What is the difference between the current prodigal point and the salary of the previous life? He doesn't want to live like that anymore, he wants to get prodigal points while enjoying life. Just like playing a game, in this life he wants to enjoy the joy brought by the game, rather than being controlled by the game. Thinking of this, Yi Feng also smiled bitterly. In the last life, he added a year of classes, and finally gave himself a day off, thinking about playing games all night, and then sleeping in Mei the next day. Who would have thought? What the heck, he directly traveled to this Schwantian continent. On the other side, as the strength of the array flag disappeared, Meng Haifeng resisted the anger in his heart, and chased after him again with the bloody jade in his hand that could sense Meng Tengyu's approximate location. After a while, Meng Haifeng, who was pedaling on the flying sword, suddenly flew towards the ground below. This is the 9-pattern blood ginseng pill. Seeing that there were at least a dozen blood ginseng pills with 9 lines around, and even more than half of the blood ginseng pills were smashed, Meng Haifeng felt that his heart was bleeding. Prodigal. What a loser. Meng Haifeng had already thought that these blood ginseng pills were definitely thrown by Yi Feng, but he still carefully picked up all the whole and crushed blood ginseng pills and put them into the interspatial ring. Afterwards, Meng Haifeng did not drive the flying sword into the sky, but kept a height of 1 meter above the ground, and continued to chase in the direction of Meng Tangyu, while releasing divine sense to find out if there were any discarded objects around. Blood ginseng. 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. When Meng Haifeng found out that he had found more than 500 intact blood ginseng pills and more than 2,000 broken blood ginseng pills, his whole body shook uncontrollably. Even if these legendary blood ginseng pills belonged to others, he simply could not accept that these blood ginseng pills were discarded like this. No longer searching, Meng Haifeng stepped into the sky with his flying sword and rushed towards Meng Tengyu's direction at the fastest speed. He was numb, and after searching for 3 hours, he even had so many complete and incomplete blood ginseng pills in his hand. The next morning, Yi Feng suddenly stood up from the spirit stone's bed and looked at the two people who were still obsessed with fighting for their lives not far away, but Yi Feng quickly ran to the east. Using the function of spying on the secrets once, Yi Feng knew that at this time, the other party was about to catch up here. He didn't want to affect Huang Xiaofei's current cultivation state because of the appearance of this enemy. So, he was going to trap each other in advance where they couldn't see. It's you, my son. When Meng Haifeng, who was flying at a high speed, saw that Yi Feng was the only one standing below, he was anxiously about to ask where his son and the young master were, but saw a black formation flag suddenly appeared in the other's hand, which made him feel anxious. His face changed suddenly. Go. Without giving the other party a chance to speak, Yifeng directly threw the array flag in his hand. Seeing the gray-robed old man who was directly circling within a certain range, Yifeng showed a smug look and raised a middle finger at the other party again. He shouted extremely arrogantly, "You old fool, there is something to keep chasing us." After speaking, Yifeng ran in the direction of Huang Xiaofei and Meng Tangyu without looking back. No matter where you escape, this old man will kill you in this life. Seeing Yifeng, who left immediately after the clamor, Meng Haifeng's qi and blood surged up, and a mouthful of blood that was about to spurt made him swallow it back, but his face instantly paled a little, but the killing intent in his eyes became more and more intense. Senin. Brother Yi, what have you been doing? When Yifeng came back, he found that the two of them had finished cultivation, which made him a little surprised and asked, "Today is over so soon?" Brother Yi, through the crazy fighting in the past 2 nights, I have completely integrated 1% of the Fighting War Saint body. After the complete fusion, I can truly exert the power of the Fighting War Saint body. Hearing Yifeng's question, Huang Xiaoshan also explained a little excitedly. As expected of a Fighting War Saint body, it actually needs to be fused in this way of fighting and fighting. Only after complete fusion can it fully reveal its true power. Yifeng, who heard this, also gained a new understanding of the body of Fighting War Saint. Okay, let's continue on our way. Don't rest tonight. If there is no accident, you can arrive at the Star Soul sect early tomorrow morning. Thinking that there is still a strong enemy behind them chasing them, and there is no yin and yang stray flag in his hand, Yifeng is ready to go all out. As long as he reaches the Star Soul sect, if the opponent still dares to come, he will let the blood-devouring mantis that don't even know him. Hearing Yifeng's words, Meng Tangyu and Huang Xiaofei were also stunned. Through this period of contact, they knew that Yifeng was very concerned about sleep at night. However, the two did not ask the reason in the end. Since Yifeng made this decision, he naturally has his reasons. On the way to the Star Soul sect again, Yifeng also checked out the products of today's Prodigal family. Today's Prodigal product, top-grade cultivation technique, the treasure of demons. What? After seeing today's Prodigal product, Yifeng also showed a hint of surprise, because this is the first time that a Prodigal product of the cultivation technique class has appeared, and it is a top grade of heaven, which is already the top cultivation in Xuantian continent technique. Just throw it away. Nothing new. Just tear it off. Not creative. Suddenly, Yifeng thought of something, looked directly at Huang Xiaofei and asked, "Xiaofei, you haven't been on a tuba for several days, haven't you?" Young Master Yi, as a cultivator, it doesn't matter even if you don't eat for a long time, and even if you eat, the impurities produced in your body can be directly purified by spirit power, and you don't need to go to a large tube to expel them like ordinary people. Internal impurities. Hearing this, Meng Tangyu on the side explained with a smile. Yeah, Brother Yi, although my strength is average, I still have this ability. Huang Xiaofei followed suit at this time. No, you don't have that ability. Hearing the words of the two, Yifeng stared at Huang Xiaofei and said this directly. What to do? I have this ability, why do you say I don't have it? What the hell? Brother Yi, are you playing so perverted? Suddenly, Huang Xiaofei tightened his back, and an extremely terrifying conjecture suddenly appeared in his mind. What should I do? Should I refuse? No, Brother Yi gave me such a powerful war saint body, can't I bear this grievance? After struggling for a long time, Huang Xiaofei gritted his teeth and looked at Yifeng and said, Brother Yi, I want to get a tuba. Laughed. Brother Yi actually laughed when he heard this, and that smile was so evil, I was about to split. Seeing Yifeng's evil smile, even though he was mentally prepared, Huang Xiaofei was still panicking. Go, remember to use this wipe. After Yifeng let Meng Tangyu fall to the ground, he shoved a cultivation technique secret book directly into Huang Xiaofei's hand. That's it. Huang Xiaofei looked at the yellowed paper book in his hand, and was stunned for a while. This was different from what he thought. Seeing Huang Xiaofei running directly behind a big rock, Yifeng felt that he was really talented. The top-grade cultivation technique secret book was used as toilet paper, so he asked who had his Prodigal family. Behind the rock, Huang Xiaofei, who was in a tuba, was also extremely speechless. He almost forgot how many years he had not had a tuba. In boredom, Huang Xiaofei also flipped through the yellowed book in his hand. Although the name of the book is blurred, the contents and patterns inside are very clear. Seeing this, Huang Xiaofei's whole mind was completely immersed in it, and the whole person seemed to have entered a profound artistic conception. This breath is not far from the rock. Meng Tangyu felt this strange fluctuation, but was instantly startled in place. Epiphany. This is the strange fluctuation that only comes out when you enter the epiphany. The extremely stupid young master has actually entered the legendary realm of epiphany that is not weaker than chance. Young Master Yi, what is the book you just gave to the young master? After the shock, Meng Tangyu also quickly looked at Yifeng and asked. Seeing Meng Tangyu, who was not quite normal, Yifeng explained doubtfully, it's just a top-grade cultivation technique. I was thinking about it, so I thought about letting Xiaofei be used as toilet paper. Young Master Yi, thank you for your kindness. In short, you gave us a great opportunity in this ordinary way, and we will surely remember these kindnesses in our hearts. However, when Yifeng heard Meng Tangyu say such inexplicable words, for some reason, he suddenly felt a little uneasy, and hurriedly asked, Butler Meng, I don't quite understand what you are talking about. Young Master Yi, it seems that there are many magical uses for the War Saint body that the young master and I don't know yet. Although it is only 1% integrated, you must know that the young master's understanding should have undergone earth-shaking changes. Otherwise, why would he be given a top-grade cultivation technique for him to come to an epiphany? Epiphany. Epiphany top-grade cultivation technique. What the hell? The reacted Yifeng's right fist quickly covered the thick fire spirit power, and then a punch suddenly slammed, and the fire dragon condensed by the fire spirit power instantly shattered the boulder. With a huge bang, countless rubble of different sizes flew around, and Huang Xiaofei, who was hiding behind the rock and was squatting with a big epiphany, was instantly awakened from the epiphany. Huang Xiaofei, hurry up and use the cultivation technique secret pawn I gave you as toilet paper. After seeing the exposed Huang Xiaofei, Yifeng shouted directly. Confused, Huang Xiaofei was stunned, and Meng Tangyu on the side was also stunned. However, Huang Xiaofei quickly reacted, and directly tore the cultivation technique secret pawn in his hand to use it as toilet paper, but every time he tore off a few sheets, his heart was bleeding. Although the time for the epiphany was short, he already knew the name of this top-grade cultivation technique, the treasures of demon warring, and the top-grade cultivation technique. After a while, when Huang Xiaofei came back with most of the remaining cultivation technique secrets, Yifeng directly asked the other party to shred all the remaining cultivation techniques secrets. Ding! Today's Prodigal products fail to fail, deduct 50,000 Prodigal points. Hearing the sound of the system prompt, Yifeng was crying to death. He now has more than 60,000 Prodigal points left, and he has deducted 50,000 at once. Moreover, he felt that it was fortunate that this was discovered early. If Huang Xiaofei had an epiphany for a while, the deducted Prodigal points would continue to increase exponentially. I understand. At this moment, looking at Yifeng, whose face became more and more difficult, Huang Xiaofei's mind flashed a flash of light, and he suddenly understood everything. Brother Yi, I was wrong. You said before that you don't need any cultivation technique and martial skill if you have a War Saint body, you only need constant battles to keep getting stronger, and martial skill can also be learned in the battle of life and death. Quote, all my energy should be used in battle, how can I waste it on cultivation technique, even if it is a top-level heaven-grade cultivation technique? This should be your test for me. I'm sorry Brother Yi, I let you down. At this time, Huang Xiaofei looked at Yifeng with guilt and said. What are you talking about here? What is the test for you? I just want you to help me lose my family. Why don't you make fun of yourself here? Hearing Huang Xiaofei's words, Yifeng almost spit out a mouthful of old blood. I see. It's ridiculous that I was still dissatisfied with you, young Master Yi, thinking that you ruined the chance of the young master, because I was short-sighted. Young Master Yi, you are silently doing all this for the young master. I was disrespectful to you just now, and I hope you can forgive me. At this time, Meng Tangyu on the side also spoke with guilt. What's the matter with you? Do you have to force yourself to add some drama? Looking at Meng Tangyu on the side, Yifeng is really going to be mad. You all have something wrong, right? I just want to lose the family. Go, let's go, hurry up. Do not explain. Looking at the two people who are too deeply involved in the play, Yifeng has completely given up. Think whatever you want, Daddy is no longer playing, you can play by yourself. Taking out the flying sword, the three of them embarked on the journey to the Star Soul sect again. Young Master Yi seems to be really angry. I'm afraid young Master Yi has long known that your comprehension has been greatly improved. Why didn't you realize this? Even if you entered the legendary realm of Epiphany, you should forcibly wake up. Didn't I just react just now? Young Master Yi must be still angry now. I really don't know how to make young Master Yi feel less angry. Why am I so stupid? Hearing the two whispering whispers, Yifeng on the side was already full of black lines. Everyone is so close, what's the use of your whispering? You really think I can't be deaf? Isn't it obvious that you are telling me? You two are really enough. I'm not angry anymore, can we just be normal? Yifeng is convinced. He can guarantee that if he doesn't say such a sentence, these two goods will definitely be able to talk all the way. Real, Brother Yi, don't worry, I will never let you down in the future. One day, when I become famous, I will definitely become a sharp blade in your hand, clearing all the enemies in front of you. When he said the last sentence, Huang Xiaofei's eyes were full of seriousness. Hearing this, looking at Huang Xiaofei with a serious face, Yifeng said directly, No, I just want to enjoy life as I want, please don't disturb my clean life. Brother Yi, whether you need it or not, I will try my best to cultivate, and at the same time make the Chamber of Commerce the number one Chamber of Commerce in Xuantian continent. No matter when, as long as Brother Yi needs it, my Chamber of Commerce and I will definitely rush to your side at the first time, no matter who your enemy is, even the entire Xuantian continent. And many more. Hearing this, Yifeng looked at Huang Xiaofei with a serious face. He just wanted to say, isn't the drama you added to yourself a bit too much? Thinking of the second apprentice of the own who has become an undercover agent of the Tianji Pavilion, and that the eldest apprentice is the owner of Wanhua Valley, and now Huang Xiaofei, who can't be regarded as a younger brother, wants to create the number one Chamber of Commerce in the Xuantian continent. He seems to be really in the next. The game is enough to affect the entire Xuantian continent's chess game. He just wants to lose his family quietly. What the hell are you doing? Hope he's not serious. Looking at Huang Xiaofei with a serious face, Yifeng could only think like this. After all, he couldn't change other people's thoughts. 10 hours later, it's almost evening. I am going to kill you. I'm definitely going to kill you. Meng Haifeng, who finally got rid of the confusion, rode the flying sword into the sky with rage, and the horror of the fourth stage of the Transcends Tribulation realm broke out unscrupulously, causing countless people to avoid it in advance, and no one dared to provoke it. Night falls. Meng Tangyu led Yifeng and Huang Xiaofei to continue their journey in the dark. And as they got closer and closer to the Star Soul sect, Huang Xiaofei and Meng Tangyu also began to feel an inexplicable pressure. Their Chamber of Commerce was just a Chamber of Commerce that had been developing for thousands of years. They dared not imagine the end of the Star Soul sect. What a behemoth! The next morning, when the three finally came to the Star Soul sect, Huang Xiaofei and Meng Tangyu were dumbfounded. What about the behemoth? The sect in front of me, which looks extremely deserted, is really Yifeng's sect. Yifeng, you still know how to come back. While the two were stunned, Luo Chenzu's angry voice came out from the sect. Luo Chenshui, Bai Tianong, Sha Tianyu, Leng Wufeng, Luo Kai and Wu Tianzhao quickly walked out of the sect. Sha Tianyu. However, Huang Xiaofei and Meng Tangyu's eyes fell directly on Sha Yu. After all, their Chamber of Commerce and Sha Yu's Tianyu auction house also had some cooperation. Of course, although the two of them knew Sha Yu, the other party didn't know them. After all, the president Huang Dai was responsible for the cooperation with each other. But the two of them couldn't understand why the behind-the-scenes boss of Tangtang Tianyu auction house was in this small sect. Master, why are they here? Walking to Luo Chenshui, who was full of anger, Yifeng pointed to Wu Tianzhao and asked curiously. How are they here? What did you do when you came back to this sect? Don't you have any thoughts in your heart? Yi Feng, you are really a good disciple of Master. Go out and not only kidnap the 5 core disciplines of this sect, but also brought back a guardian demonic beasts, and even brought back an elder by the way. Looking at Yi Feng with a confused face, Luo Chenshui gritted her teeth and said. And many more. Luo Chenzu's eyes suddenly fell on Huang Xiaofei and Meng Tangyu not far away. For some reason, she always had an ominous premonition when she saw them. Who are they? Don't tell me they're joining sect too. Luo Chenshui stared at Yi Feng and questioned directly. Master, they are not ready to join our sect. Let me introduce to you. This is Huang Xiaofei, the young master of the Qinghai Chamber of Commerce, and this is Meng Tangyu, the chief steward of the Qinghai Chamber of Commerce. They came back with their disciples this time, mainly to discuss some business matters with you, master. Hearing Yi Feng's words, especially seeing Yi Feng's playful smile at the end, Luo Chenshui always felt that this matter was not as simple as it sounded. Contacts. When Sha Yu, who was standing behind, heard the identities of the two, he showed a look of surprise. Although he did not know the two, he knew Huang Dai, the president of the Qinghai Chamber of Commerce. Is this kid Yi Feng? Luo Kai's eyes fell on Yi Feng at this time, and he even started to think about how to please Yi Feng next, so that he could get some blood essence from the purple thunder lion monster in Yi Feng's hands. 2 people, my Star Soul sect was founded less than a month ago, and as you have seen, there are not many disciples in the sect at present. The most important thing is that our sect is poor and we don't have enough financial resources to buy cultivation resources for our disciples. I see cooperation. Let it go. Luo Chenshui walked up to Huang Xiaofei and Meng Tangyu at this time, and said directly with an indifferent expression. As a holy maiden of the Promise sect, even though she spends most of her time on cultivation, her father in this life is the sect leader of the sect leader. Even a powerful sect of the sect will have an incomparable comparison with some chambers of commerce and auction houses. In an ordinary relationship, a large amount of cultivation resources will be purchased from each other every month. However, Huang Xiaofei and Meng Tangyu were stunned when they heard this. Down and out, with Yi Feng as a prodigal, can your sect be poor? If nothing else, the more than 9,009 pattern blood ginseng pills thrown away before, the cultivation resources that can be purchased with their value are probably enough to consume these disciples of your sect for more than 10 years. Luo sect leader, I think you may have misunderstood, we are not here for this purpose. Having said that, Huang Xiaofei explained the transaction details of the blood ginseng pill recipe. Silly. After Luo Chenshui heard this, she was completely dumbfounded. Blood ginseng pill recipe, a long-lost 8th grade pill recipe. If you can really refine blood ginseng pills and sell them exclusively, the profit in it is unimaginable. But what does this have to do with her? She relies on sect every day to refuse people who come to Beizong, but now she tells her that the Star Soul sect will have a large amount of spirit stones every month in the account. Master, as your disciple, the disciple of your own, and the master of all the brothers in the entire sect, it is the disciple's responsibility to help the development of the sect. At this time, Yi Feng came over, looked at Luo Chenshui and said with a righteous face, and even fantasized about how Luo Chenshui would praise him next. After all, looking at the entire Xuantian continent, how could anyone find him so willing, the big disciple who worked hard for sect? Looking at Yi Feng's proud look that was about to praise me, Luo Qinzu's face was full of frost, and she could not wait to slap Yi Feng to death. I knew it. I knew that there was absolutely nothing good for these 2 people to come. I knew that anything related to Yi Feng, a scoundrel, would definitely not be a good thing. I don't want to develop sect. My mother, I don't want to develop sect. This disrupts my cultivation plan. What year and month can I get transcends tribulation to ascend to the upper realm to take revenge? Luo Qinzu's state of mind was completely blown at this time. Ding. Remind the host that the gray-robed old man will arrive at the Star Soul sect in 3 minutes, deducting 1 chance to spy on the heavenly secret function today. At this moment, the system's prompt sounded from Yi Feng's mind. This is because Yi Feng had already given an order to the system, and used a chance to spy on the secrets. If the gray-robed old man dared to chase after him, then remind him just when he was about to catch up with them. Xiao Shui, there is an old man in gray robe chasing us all the way, and he is about to catch up to the Star Soul sect. You go ahead and stop him. Don't kill him first, beat him even if he doesn't even know his mother, he is ruthless. Beat. At this time, Yi Feng beckoned to the blood-devouring mantis that turned into a human form not far away, and finally issued an order to intercept. Little Blood obeys. After speaking, the blood-devouring mantis handsomely flicked the feather fan in his hand, and even did not forget to glance at the two girls, Sha Tian and Du Tianyu, among the 5 Tianzhao, and then the blood-devouring mantis in white flew into the sky, taking a few breaths. He disappeared from everyone's sight. What? Were you acting handsome just now? Seeing that blood-devouring mantis was so handsome, Yi Feng was stunned. What the hell are you, a demonic beast, starting to add drama to yourself? Crazy. Yi Feng felt that whether it was a human being or a demon around him, it was so abnormal. Everyone is a demon. Yes, you are normal, you crazy prodigal son. To the southeast of Star Soul Sect. Almost. You finally stopped and rested. I don't believe that you still have that high-grade flag. If I don't kill you, I won't be Meng Haifeng. Realizing that Meng Tangyu finally stopped moving fast, Meng Haifeng felt that his chance to take revenge had finally come. At this moment, Meng Haifeng, who was flying at high speed, suddenly stopped in midair, watching a young man in white holding a feather fan blocking his own way, and said directly, I don't want to kill you, get out of the way. Ha ha. Hearing this, the blood-devouring mantis couldn't help laughing and said, 4th stage, transcends tribulation, who gave you the courage to chase down my master all the way? Who the hell are you? Hearing that the other party directly said his own cultivation base, Meng Haifeng's face instantly became dignified. You must know that he has not released the breath of the 4th stage of the transcends tribulation realm now. That proves that the opponent's strength is far above him. Wait, your master, you are the demonic beasts. And soon, Meng Haifeng suddenly realized something, looked at the blood-devouring mantis on the opposite side, and exclaimed in surprise. Boom! The blood-devouring mantis stretched out its right hand towards Meng Haifeng and slammed down, and a suffocating terrifying pressure suddenly fell. Even if Meng Haifeng had been on guard, he couldn't bear the terrifying aura pressure and knelt down in the void. The whole body trembled constantly under this terrifying pressure, unable to resist at all. I'm the Transcends Tribulation Realm 9th stage peak monster who has survived 2 Heavenly Dao Thunder tribulations. If even you can't deal with it, the master will be angry. But don't worry, the master is not ready to kill you for the time being. After I teach you a good lesson, I will take you to see my master. At that time, your life or death will be in my master's mind. Saying that, the blood-devouring mantis appeared in front of Meng Haifeng in the blink of an eye, and a punch containing terrifying brute force directly hit Meng Haifeng in the face. The other's mother doesn't know each other, so the main attack area must be the face. Inside the Star Soul Sect, Huang Xiaofei suddenly noticed that the sound transmission jade pendant had reacted, and quickly released a trace of divine sense into the sound transmission jade pendant. Father, what are you talking about? We haven't seen Elder Meng. What? Meng Lao has been chasing us for 3 days. Wait a minute, you said that Meng Lao just called you for help, and now he is about to be killed. After finishing the sound transmission, Huang Xiaofei looked at Yi Feng anxiously and asked, Brother Yi, have you seen an old man in gray robes in the past 2 days? I didn't expect you to find out. You don't have to thank me for this. After all, we are also partners now. But I still have to remind you that in the future, you must ensure that your whereabouts cannot be known by the enemy. If it wasn't for me this time, you would have been killed by the old man long ago. You two don't know that the old man is chasing you to the point of madness, and he has been chasing you for almost 3 days. Yi Feng looked at Huang Xiaofei and said with a flat smile. Found by me. If I don't find out again, Mr. Meng of our Chamber of Commerce will be killed by you. And why do you think that the other party is here to chase and kill us? Why don't you tell us after chasing us for 3 days? This misunderstanding has become big. Huang Xiaofei is really going crazy at this time. He can feel that Yi Feng is definitely kind, but this is a misunderstanding. Brother Yi, hurry up and let the person you sent out before come back. The old man who has been chasing us is Steward Meng's father. He is not an enemy. Thinking that Meng Lao was at stake at this time, Huang Xiaofei looked at Yi Feng anxiously and explained quickly. Butler Meng's father. What the hell? Hearing Huang Xiaofei's words, especially seeing the anxious look on the other side, Yi Feng was also shocked, and his head was buzzing. The old man who had been playing for 3 days turned out to be Meng Tengyu's father. Chase, my father. Meng Tengyu on the side was also stunned, and he didn't even understand for a while what the two of them meant. Pong. At this moment, a muffled sound came from not far away. An old man whose whole face was swollen into a pig's head was slammed to the ground, and a blood-devouring mantis dressed in white and holding a feather fan slowly came out of the air. Falling down, the general is playing to the extreme. Father. Meng Tengyu saw the old man. Even if he was a pighead, he recognized him at a glance, and ran over with an eager look. At this time, Luo Chenshui, Sha Tianyu, Luo Kai, Wu Tianzhao and others all looked at Yi Feng with a strange look. They could hear the conversation between the two clearly. Combined with the current situation, they have completely understood everything. The father of the big housekeeper of the Chamber of Commerce chased him for 3 days, but you played him as an enemy for 3 days, and now you let the blood-devouring mantis beat him into a pig's head. How can a normal person do such a thing? A moment later, when Huang Xiaofei explained the future to Meng Haifeng was about to cry. He was misunderstood as an enemy in his feelings, and he was playing tricks on him for 3 days, but he was silently protecting his young master and his own son. What can he do? This grievance can only be resisted silently, not to mention that he is extremely grateful that the other party did not order the terrifying monster to kill him directly, then it would be too embarrassing to die. Meng Lao, I'm really sorry. But when I woke up at the time, I saw you sitting on the ground staring at Huang Xiaofei and Meng Tengyu who were sparring and fighting with an angry look, and I kept swearing and swearing, who would be a normal person? Kind of performance. Yi Feng also walked in front of Meng Haifeng and explained with embarrassment. Hearing this, Meng Haifeng also recalled the first time the two sides met. At that time, he was full of anger and constantly cursed because of Huang Xiaofei and Meng Tengyu's lifeless fighting style and the waste of the 9-pattern blood ginseng pill. He didn't expect that because of this, Yi Feng directly misunderstood him. Meng Lao, I haven't seen you for many years, stay safe. At this time, Sha Yu came over and greeted Meng Haifeng with a smile. Boss Sha. Meng Haifeng was also taken aback when he saw the person coming. He had seen him many times before following the president, but he didn't expect him to be here. What Boss Sha? Now I don't care about the auction house. Now I'm just an elder of the Star Soul sect. After working hard all my life, it's time to find a place to retire. Sha Tianyu looked at Meng Haifeng and explained with a smile. What? Hearing Sha Yu's words, Meng Haifeng's face was startled. He didn't believe what the other party said, which proved that the Star Soul sect in front of him was definitely not ordinary, and there was definitely something that could attract the other party. Since your Chamber of Commerce wants to cooperate with our sect, then I will introduce you as a middleman. This is our Star Soul sect leader Luo Chenshui, and she is also the jewel in the palm of the Star sect leader Luo Wuming. These 5 are the 5 core disciplines of the Xingji sect. You should be very clear about what they represent. Bai Tian Hong, elder of Xingji sect. Luo Kai, the old friend of Luo Wuming, the sect leader of Xingjizong, is currently the elder of Xinghanzong. It needs no introduction, sect's guardian demonic beasts, Yi Feng's pet. Sha Yu looked at Meng Haifeng and smiled and briefly introduced the situation of sect and the others, which was also meant to show off. After all, everyone was an old acquaintance. Now that he has become a sect elder, he naturally has to let the other party know the power of sect. Just do it. Leng Wufeng, who was standing in the back, was about to cry. As people continued to join sect, he felt that his sense of existence was getting lower and lower. He was the second disciple to join sect. Meng Haifeng was dumbfounded at this time. Who would have thought that this inconspicuous sect in front of him could be so terrifying? Boom. At this moment, a yellow spring sword intent soaring into the sky came from a distance, which made Meng Haifeng's face change greatly again. He did not expect that this little Star Soul sect would have such a talented sword cultivator. Wong. However, when a little yellow head ran from a distance with an excited look, Meng Haifeng was dumbfounded, as were Huang Xiaofei and Meng Tengyu beside him. How dare you believe that a dog has realized the ultimate yellow spring sword intent? When the rest of the people saw the little yellow dog running over, their facial muscles trembled uncontrollably, but there was an extremely envious look in their eyes, for nothing else, just because this little yellow dog was raised by Yi Feng, and Yi Feng is willing to give this dog anything good. Dog. Seeing the little yellow dog running over, Yi Feng also showed a smile, and took out a sword heart advanced fragment and placed it on the little yellow dog's forehead. And when everyone saw the advanced sword heart fragments in Yi Feng's hands, although they didn't know what it was, they all showed a trace of heat, because they knew what Yi Feng could take out, especially for the little yellow dog. There is nothing ordinary. Boom. After the little yellow dog absorbed the power of the advanced sword heart fragments, a terrifying yellow spring sword intent rose from the little yellow dog to the sky. Condensed molding. The realm of swordsmanship. Sword embryo prototype. When everyone saw the gradually condensed sword embryo, they all cried out in surprise. I knew that the things in Brother Yi's hands couldn't be anything ordinary. Thinking that Yi Feng took out the advanced fragments of Jianxin to show off at first, he and Butler Meng didn't know what kind of treasure it was, but they were able to play with Juya household grass, golden silkworm star Yaoshi and blood essence, an unknown monster. The things together, they guessed that they are not ordinary things, but they didn't expect it to be so terrifying, so that the sword intent, who has realized the extreme, can directly break through to the realm of sword heart. Thinking of this, Huang Xiaofei also showed a touch of relief. Even the heaven-defying physique of the Do War Saint body can be thrown to himself, so what is the point of giving this advanced sword heart fragment to a dog? Call. Don't be angry. I'm not angry, it's his thing, he can use it for whomever he wants, I'm not angry. Although Luo Chenshui was trying to calm down her own mood at this time, she was still getting more and more angry, and she was almost crying. That is a heaven-defying treasure that can directly break through the ultimate sword intent to the realm of sword heart. Great ancestor Lao Luo Tianxing has been cultivating for hundreds of years, and he has only cultivated to the realm of Jianxin, and it is still under the premise that he has obtained several opportunities in the heavenly Dao battlefield. What's the matter? This stinky brat distributed the extremely precious monster corpse to countless sect disciples in the Xingji sect before. I thought that was the limit, but I didn't expect him to have such a treasure in his hand, and the way of the prodigal family just blinded my eyes. Luo Kai, who was on the side, was glad that he had made the most correct decision in his life, that is, to run here and become an elder. Yi Feng could lose his family to such an extent that even a dog could get such good things, as long as the performance is good enough. Are you afraid that you won't be able to drink a little soup? Don't be 6. This is the basic operation of junior brother. Why do you people look like you haven't seen the world before? Looking at the shocked crowd, Wu Tianzhao's senior brother Chen Haoyu started talking to himself nonchalantly. Rejecting Luo Qinzu's invitation, Meng Haifeng quickly left the Star Soul sect with Huang Xiaofei and Meng Tangyu. He had to ask his young master and son about some things, including the deal that Xia Xiaoyu said before. Tell me, what deal did you privately represent with the Star Soul sect on behalf of the Chamber of Commerce? Don't say it has anything to do with the blood ginseng pill recipe, although that kid does have a lot of blood ginseng pills, even the blood ginseng pills with 9 lines, but I still don't believe he really has blood ginseng pill recipe. After leaving the Blood Soul sect, Meng Haifeng questioned the two directly. Boom! A weak but unyielding fighting spirit burst out from Huang Xiaofei's body, and a faint golden glow appeared on his body, which made Meng Haifeng's face change dramatically. After a few minutes, Brother Yi even has this kind of heaven-defying fighting war saint body. What's the point of a mere blood ginseng pill recipe? Huang Xiaofei didn't talk nonsense, and directly used the heaven-defying fighting war saint body to prove to Meng Haifeng that the blood ginseng pill recipe they thought was extremely precious was like waste paper in Yi Feng's eyes, and the other party didn't bother to deceive them, since the other party said the blood ginseng pill. If the pill recipe is true, then it is absolutely true. Father, you would never have imagined that this war saint body is far from being as simple as what we just said. Just after integrating 1%, the young master's comprehension has undergone earth-shaking changes, even if it is a top-grade cultivation technique. That is, you can enter the realm of epiphany at a glance. Meng Tangyu also added at this time. Cultivation technique. Where? Hearing this, Meng Haifeng also hurriedly asked. You must know that even the top-level cultivation technique of their Qinghai Chamber of Commerce is just a low-grade cultivation technique. When toilet paper solves the big problem. Huang Xiaofei looked at Meng Haifeng with an eager face, and said proudly, he felt that it was definitely the most extravagant thing he had done in his life. What? Hearing this, Meng Haifeng raised his right hand angrily and wanted to hit him directly, but suddenly thought that the other party was his own young master, and finally decided that the slaps should be left to the president. Let's go. If the blood ginseng pill recipe is true, I will come to visit the Star Soul sect again with the president. 10% profit is impossible. The other party will give us a face of the Chamber of Commerce, but we can't pretend to be confused. At least give the other party 20% or 30% of the profit. Star Soul sect, in the Great Hall of the sect. Master, yes, what's the matter? Seeing Luo Chenshui calling herself over alone, especially seeing the other party's unkind gaze, Yifeng expressed a little panic, but after thinking about it, she didn't seem to have caused any trouble during this time. My eldest disciple, I really underestimated you. You have only left sect for a few days, but how many identities do you have now? The sixth core discipline of this sect. This sect honors the elder. I created my own portal, and I also accepted the owner of Wanhua Valley as a disciple. I personally pass on the eldest disciple, elder, and master. You said, what do you want me to call you? Luo Chenshui stared at Yifeng and asked as she resisted her anger. Hey. Yifeng also smiled awkwardly after hearing this. He didn't expect Luo Chenshui to know all these things so quickly. Master, this disciple is here to assure you that I am your great disciple in life, and I am also your great disciple in death. I will always be Master's great disciple. Yifeng patted his chest and shouted with a sincere look, but he was thinking that he would have the opportunity to cultivate a relationship with Master. He didn't say that he couldn't be a Dao company in the future. Don't look at Luo Chinzu's coldness all day long, but Yifeng knows that his master is a knife-mouthed and tofu-hearted man. He believes that as long as he silently helps his master to grow sect, he will surely move the other party one day. Who calls him? It's a prodigal, and there are not many others, just spirit stones. Thinking of a movie he saw in the last life, Shazu didn't like money, but every moment Wang Duoyu touched Shazu was money. He also believed that as long as he persevered and smashed spirit stones for sect's prodigal family, sooner or later, he would lose money. The teacher was moved. Although I don't know what Yifeng is thinking at this time, but hearing this, it still makes Luo Chenshui feel a little warm. No matter what the process of accepting an apprentice is, Yifeng is the only big disciple of her 2 generations. Master, my prodigal family is just joking. This should be told to you by my aunt. Then she didn't tell you that the owner of the Valley of Flowers actually worships me because she lost a bet with me. Master. And I don't want to be the honored elder of this sect. I really can't stand the 5 ancestors who have to give me such an identity. Seeing that Luo Chenshui did not speak, Yifeng also explained again. Hearing Yifeng's explanation, Luo Chenshui didn't expect that there were some things that she didn't know. If it was as Yifeng said, then it was no wonder Yifeng. The identity of the elder was given by the 5 great ancestors. The master is the disciple because of the bet. How can she continue to be angry? Okay, forget about these things. The great ancestor contacted me once before. Let me remind you of one thing. No matter how many top-grade spirit crystals you have in your hand, you must not waste another one. Even if it is a top-grade spirit crystal, it doesn't matter, but all top-grade spirit crystals must be kept. It is good. Speaking of which, Luo Chenshui pretended to be mysterious and continued. Did you know there is a mysterious place in the battlefield of Heavenly Dao? Master, are you talking about Heavenly Dao City? I've been there before, but unfortunately my Heavenly Dao order can only let me stay there for half a day, but I spent most of the time hanging out, and it was sent directly after I topped up a wave. Quote. The best spirit crystal, the mysterious place in the battlefield of Heavenly Dao. Hearing these 2 important points of information, Yifeng felt that what Luo Chenshui wanted to say was Heavenly Dao City, so he simply told the situation that he had been to Heavenly Dao City. And Luo Chenshui was still thinking about hanging Yifeng's curiosity. Who would have thought that the other party not only directly mentioned Heavenly Dao City, but also visited it? Mind broke. Luo Chinzu's mentality has completely collapsed at this time. It is necessary to know that the news of Heavenly Dao City is still known to him from the ancestors. Who would have thought that her prodigal apprentice would have been there? What? Master, that Heavenly Dao City is fun, let me tell you. Next, Luo Chenshui, like a curious baby, quietly listened to Yifeng talking about the technological Heavenly Dao City. She was so fascinated by it that she wanted to go to Heavenly Dao City to see those magical technological products with her own eyes. Master, don't worry, when the disciple goes to the Heavenly Dao battlefield again after a while, he will definitely find a few Heavenly Dao orders for the Master. Then the disciple will take the Master to Heavenly Dao City and enjoy it. What is the transcends tribulation? Dude, you all have to come and stand in a row to bring tea and water to Master. Yi Feng said with a bold smile. Hearing this, Luo Qinzu's gaze towards Yi Feng changed a bit. She could feel that these words were all from Yi Feng's heart. At this moment, she felt that there was such a prodigal who thought of everything for her. Apprentice, but a kind of luck for her. Changed. The way Master looks at me has changed. Yi Feng was overjoyed when he found that Luo Qinzu's eyes had changed when she looked at Own. This did not easily increase the relationship between master and apprentice. Luo Chenshui, who had suddenly woken up, looked at Yi Feng and looked at him with a smile, thinking of her emotions just now. Her face instantly turned red. She waved her hand and said, "Okay, you go down first, I will report the situation in Heavenly Dao City to the Great Ancestor immediately." Seeing the shy Luo Chenshui, Yi Feng knew that he couldn't be too hasty, so he nodded and left the great hall of the sect. Yi Feng, let me introduce myself. I'm the new elder Luokai from sect, and I'm a body cultivator. If you have any coolie work in the future, feel free to find me. Old Bai and Old Shaw are both old, so don't bother them. It's not good if they get tired. Luokai had been waiting outside the great hall of the sect for a long time. After seeing Yi Feng coming out, he hurriedly stepped forward and introduced himself with a smile. Luokai, the old man knows that you didn't hold back any good farts this time. Just at this moment, the voice of Hong Chi's desperation during the day came from a distance. Looking at Bai Tian Hong and Sha Yu, who came full of anger, Luokai also showed a touch of embarrassment. Who would have thought that it was the first time in his life that he would be caught talking badly behind someone's back? 3 elders, there is no physical work today, and tomorrow will depend on the situation. So, if there is physical work, I will definitely bother the 3 of them. How? Looking at the 3 people who were arguing with each other, Yi Feng quickly became a peacemaker. After all, he was very clear about what the 3 of them were thinking. He just wanted to get something good from himself. Snort. Hearing Yi Feng's words, Bai Tianhong and Sha Yu looked at Luokai and snorted before turning around and walking into the distance. Luokai also smiled awkwardly at Yi Feng, and then walked into the distance. It doesn't matter if it's embarrassing or not. Anyway, Yi Feng promised himself a chance, and that's enough. What is he here for? Isn't it just for the big demon blood essence in Yi Feng's hands? Little junior brother. When Yi Feng returned to his residence, Wu Tianzhao and Leng Wufeng also rushed towards him with excited expressions. Why? Looking at the 6 people running towards him, Yi Feng also sighed helplessly. Excellent people will be the presence of everyone's attention wherever they go. Little junior brother, I didn't expect you to go out for a few days, and your strength actually broke through from the peak of the Qi Realm 9th stage to the peak of the Foundation Establishment Realm 9th stage. It seems that you must have a big chance in the Heavenly Dao battlefield. Chen Haoyu said with great surprise when he noticed Yi Feng's realm at this time. Leng Wufeng, who was on the side, pouted when he heard this. Wu Tianzhao had never seen Yi Feng's breakthrough method like a rocket, but he had seen it with his own eyes. Not to mention that he has now reached the peak of the Foundation Establishment Realm 9th stage. Even if he has reached the peak of the Transcends Tribulation 9th stage, he is not surprised, and he can guarantee that Yi Feng's breakthrough strength has absolutely nothing to do with chance. Master, how many minutes did it take you to break through? Did you directly break through from the pinnacle of the aerodynamic 9th stage to the pinnacle of the Foundation Establishment Realm 9th stage? With the arrival of everyone, Leng Wufeng felt that his sense of existence was getting lower and lower, and he finally survived until his dearest senior brother came back. Then he had to find a sense of existence beside the senior brother. And Wu Tianzhao was stunned when he heard Leng Wufeng's words. After he was stunned, he covered his stomach and laughed, looking at Leng Wufeng as if he was looking at a big fool. Junior brother Wufeng, I have no ill intentions, but are you stupid for pill refining? Even if junior brother Yi Feng is extraordinary, it is impossible to directly break through from the peak of the Qi Realm 9th stage to the peak of the Foundation Establishment Realm 9th stage. Across 2 big realms, that's impossible. Don't talk about the big realm. Even if you can directly break through 2 small realms, it is extremely lucky. and you need to stabilize the realm later, not to mention the foundation establishment realm is to build a spirit lotus, if it is to open up the spirit lotus. The sea is the first hurdle of a cultivator, but creating a spirit lotus is the second hurdle. Chen Haoyu also explained Lang Wufang at this time. After all, Lang Wufang's strength is only the peak of 9th stage, and he has not yet created Linglian Impact Foundation establishment. It's still junior brother Wufang, you understand me. You don't know how cool I was when I broke through from the peak of the 9th stage of the aerodynamic environment to the peak of the foundation establishment realm 9th stage, but it's a pity that no one can witness such a breakthrough scene of ancient and modern times. Speaking of this, Yi Feng also thought of the 2 corpses in the cave at that time, and in the end did not say that the scene was witnessed by the 2 corpses. He felt that it was simply too embarrassing. And hearing Yi Feng's words, Wu Tianzhao was stupid. They may not believe Lang Wufang, but this is what Yi Feng said. Although everyone has not been in contact with them for a long time, they know one thing, that no matter what Yi Feng says, it is absolutely true, because the other party does not need it at all. Lie to them. But if it's true, they can't imagine how shocking the realm's terrifying scene must be. Without wind strength, it stands to reason that you ate so many Juan Qingxuandan at the time, and your physique has already undergone earth-shaking changes. Why haven't you tried to attack the foundation establishment? Yi Feng looked at Lang Wufang and asked curiously. Brush, brush, brush. Hearing Yi Feng's words, Wu Tianzhao rushed directly to Lang Wufang and surrounded him, and then released spirit power with his hands to check Lang Wufang's physique. Absolutely pure. This is the only thought that Wu Tianzhao had after checking it. Junior brother Wufang, how many 9-pattern Qingxuandan have you eaten? Is Qingxuandan the best? With a look of shock, Chen Haoyu looked at Lang Wufang and asked the doubts in his heart. The 3rd-ranked Juan Qingxuandan. I also forgot how much I ate. Anyway, it ended when I ate until I vomited. It is also fortunate that my strength is at the peak of 9th stage, the 3rd-ranked Qingxuandan is effective for me. It can be said that this opportunity was given to me by the senior brother. Lang Wufang looked at Wu Tianzhao with a proud face and explained. What about Tianzhao? If nothing else, just relying on his own body being baptized by countless 9-pattern Qingxuan pills, his future achievements are not necessarily lower than theirs. I'm envious. Eat until you vomit. Such a prodigal behavior is indeed in line with the work style of the younger brother. Moreover, if their bodies can be baptized to such a degree, coupled with their talent, savvy, spiritual roots, etc., they can't imagine how terrifying the upper limit of their own will be. At this moment, no one in Wu Tianzhao dared to underestimate Lang Wufang. Just because of this lack of impurities physique, his future achievements would not necessarily be lower than theirs. Master, I originally wanted to attack the foundation establishment realm, but Master told me to wait for you to come back. After all, the lotus creation of the foundation establishment is also an extremely important step for cultivators. Seeing Wu Tianzhao, who was shocked, Lang Wufang looked at Yi Feng and explained it. I see, but at the moment I don't have anything good to help you, so you can wait for now. After listening, Yi Feng also understood what Luo Chenshui meant, but at the moment there was indeed nothing in his hand that could help Lang Wufang, so he could only wait. I'm envious. After Wu Tianzhao listened to the conversation between the two, his eyes turned purple with envy. Lang Wufang's impurities-free physique is already terrifying. If there is Yi Feng's help during the foundation establishment, it will definitely take off directly. It can be said that with Yi Feng's promise, Lang Wufang's future achievements will definitely surpass them. Thinking of this, Wu Tianzhao felt uncomfortable in an instant. Why didn't they meet Yi Feng in advance when they were in foundation establishment? In that case, their fate would change dramatically. And many more. Suddenly, Wu Tianzhao thought of one thing, that is, they are currently all in the 9th stage of the Purple Palace, only Chen Haoyu has reached the peak of the 9th stage of the Purple Palace, and the next step is to refine the lotus and transform into the gods, and attack the Yuanshan realm. Primordial spirit realm is also an extremely important part of cultivation. Thinking of this, Chen Haoyu is especially fortunate that he has been suppressing the cultivation base and did not rashly attack the primordial spirit realm, otherwise wouldn't he have missed another great opportunity. At this time, Wu Tianzhao looked at Yi Feng again, and felt that Yi Feng was simply a treasure trove of walking opportunities. Chapter 71. Ding. Publish a random task. ask the host to lead the sect brothers to participate in the Secret Realm sect competition held by the Tianyang sect. There is only one requirement for the task. The host must get the second place in the competition, and the lead sect brothers cannot get the first place. If the mission is successful, a lot of Prodigal points will be rewarded, and if the mission fails, a large number of Prodigal points will be deducted, and you can refuse. At this moment, the system's voice suddenly rang out from Yifeng's mind. Secret Realm Sect Ratio. Still have to finish second. Hearing the random task released by the system, Yifeng also smiled bitterly. Although he didn't know the specific situation of the Secret Realm Sect competition, he had to get the second place, which was probably a little difficult. If you can't let the senior brothers get the first place, it may be to prevent him from getting stuck in bugs. Big brother, there is a Secret Realm Sect competition held by Tianyang sect, do you know? After thinking for a while, Yifeng looked at Chen Haoyu and asked directly. If he didn't know, then he had to ask the master Luo Chenshui. What? However, when he heard Yifeng's question, Chen Haoyu showed a look of surprise and asked, "Little junior brother, how did you know about this?" A few days ago, a person who claimed to be Tianyang sect did send an invitation letter. The purpose was to invite our Star Soul sect to participate in this Secret Realm sect competition, but I don't know how the other party negotiated with the sect leader in the end. Anyway, sect leader refused directly. Soon, Chen Haoyu told everything he knew. Is that so? Then I'll ask master. With that said, Yifeng rushed towards the great hall of the sect again. Is something wrong? Seeing Yifeng who went back and forth, Luo Chenshui also asked coldly and directly. Master, I heard from the senior brother that a few days ago, a person who claimed to be Tianyang sect sent an invitation letter to our sect. Is that the case? Yifeng looked at Luo Chenshui and asked straight to the point. That's right, Tianyang sect is the only first-class sect nearby. This time, it also sent out invitations to dozens of sects in the surrounding area. The purpose is to hold a Secret Realm sect competition. However, any sect that agrees to the invitation must allocate a certain amount of cultivation resources to a small secret realm controlled by the Tianyang sect, and each sect also has a limit on the number of people who can get as much cultivation in the secret realm. The resources are up to their own abilities. It seems fair, but that small secret realm is controlled by the Tianyang sect after all, and the environment, terrain, etc. inside are probably already memorized by the disciples in their own sect, and the rest of the sects who agreed to participate are actually at a disadvantage. Yes, in the end, their Tianyang sect will earn it. Luo Chenshui seemed to have seen through everything, and told the situation about this Secret Realm sect competition. Master, this disciple really wants to participate in this Secret Realm sect competition. After listening, Yifeng directly spoke his own thoughts. No, our sect is poor, and we can't get those cultivation funds at all. Halfway through speaking, Luo Chenshui suddenly found that Yifeng was getting excited gradually, and the eyes staring at him were extremely fiery, as if eagerly waiting for her next words. Go crazy. Luo Chinzu's heart was completely mad at this time, she even forgot that her own eldest disciple was a mad prodigal. I'm afraid I can't come up with those cultivation resources just after I finish talking, and the other party will pat his chest and say that the disciple has it. Master, can't you come up with those cultivation resources? Disciple has it. Looking at Luo Chenshui who suddenly stopped at the key point, Yifeng was also anxious, and followed Luo Chinzu's next words. Master, you know the efficacy of this epiphany pill. I don't have much in my hand right now, so I'll take out 50 of them. I have some 9-leaf soul returning grass now, so let's take out 50 plants. And this golden silkworm star shining stone, just take out 3 pieces. I have quite a lot of this purple thunder lion demon blood essence, so I'll take out 100 drops. Seeing the treasures Yifeng brought out that made her jealous, Luo Chinzu's whole body trembled with anger. This prodigal apprentice of her own was going to use so many treasures as cultivation resources and put them into the secret realm. A loser. It is no exaggeration to say that even if all the cultivation resources brought out by all the sects who agreed to participate in this sect competition, I am afraid they will not be worth a drop of blood essence. Master, are these enough? Yifeng looked at Luo Chenshui and asked, how could he let go of such a prodigal opportunity? Thinking of the scene where dozens of sect's disciples went completely crazy because of the good things he brought out, Yifeng couldn't help but get excited. Deserved. Call. Luo Chenshui took a deep breath, and then tried her best to suppress her trembling slender hand that wanted to slap Yifeng to death, and said directly, "You hand over all these things to sect, this sect competition, the necessary cultivation resources are prepared for the division. Well, don't you like prodigals? Then I will confiscate all your good things, and I will see how you lose your family." Thinking of this, Luo Chenshui, who had a cold face, suddenly laughed. This smile was like melting glaciers and the recovery of 10,000 trees. It was extremely charming. Brush. Hearing this, Yifeng directly took everything on the ground into the system space with a wave of his hand, and looked at Luo Chenshui with a vigilant look. Question mark, question mark, question mark. What's the situation? I asked you to turn in the sect, what do you mean by putting it all away? Seeing Yifeng's operation, the proud smile on Luo Chenzu's face instantly stiffened. Master, disciples cannot be handed over to sect. Yifeng said his own decision with a firm look on his face at this time. Why? Luo Chenshui is stunned. You are such a prodigal, you have even provided sect with a long-term source of income, and now you are unwilling to hand over anything to sect. This is unscientific. Because I know that if I hand it over to sect, Master will definitely offer these things as treasures. Disciple must not allow these junk to occupy the position of the sect's treasure house. It must be defeated. If nothing else, it is the 9-leaf soul grass. Master, if you want to soak your feet, the disciple will definitely give it to you. Yifeng explained with a serious face at this time. You. Hearing Yifeng's words, Luo Chenshui pointed at Yifeng and was speechless for a long time. If Yifeng really handed in all of them, she would really give up all these treasures. Who would have thought that Yifeng had already guessed this? A little. It is good. Luo Chenshui gritted her teeth, looked at Yifeng and said directly, "You can't take these things. Since you want to participate in the sect competition, I will be responsible for the required cultivation resources, but the things you just took out must be handed in." Sect, how do you want to defeat all you say? I will do as you say. Finally, Luo Chenshui made a decision that would change her life. Instead of letting those outsiders get it, she might as well lose her family in sect and let these people in sect enjoy this wave of benefits. Hearing this, Yifeng was also a little surprised. This is not like the master he knew. But soon Yifeng laughed. As long as Luo Chenshui lost his family this time, would the second time be far behind? Being a loser is definitely an addictive behavior. Soon, Yifeng took out all the things he had put away before. How to use 50 epiphany pills. Luo Chenshui pointed to the epiphany dan and asked directly. Bai Lao, Sha Lao, Luo Elder, Wu Tianzhao, Leng Wufang, Blood-Devouring Mantis and Shizhen, each of you will divide 2 pieces, and the remaining 28 pieces will be given to the dog. I originally kept this thing and brought it back. Ready to feed it. Hearing Yifeng's prodigal way, even though Luo Chenshui was already mentally prepared, she was still angry. They each had only 2, and a dog ate 28. And what is it that was originally prepared for the dog? Co-authored, are they robbing the dog for medicine pill? Call. After letting out a breath, Luo Chenshui tried her best to suppress the anger in her heart and pointed to 59-leaf soul-returning grasses and asked, "Where are these 9-leaf soul-returning grasses? Let's soak your feet. Whether it's your fellow apprentices or elders, you're very tired every day. It's definitely a pleasure to soak your feet with 9-leaf revitalizing soul grass before going to bed at night. Old rule, each of you will divide 2 9-leaf soul-returning grasses, and I will use the remaining 28 plants to give the dog a bath." Pong. Hearing the last sentence, Luo Chenshui finally couldn't hold back the anger in her heart. The floor tiles under her feet shattered instantly, and the irritable spirit power surrounded her body, showing that she had reached the brink of eruption. Master, why don't you put all these into the secret realm? Looking at Luo Chenshui, who may break out at any time, Yifeng also quickly made a suggestion, and secretly said in his heart, "It seems that I have overestimated Master's psychological endurance." Need not. I feel like your distribution is good. Hearing Yifeng's suggestion, Luo Chenzu's irritable spiritual qi instantly dissipated, and she looked at Yifeng with a smile and continued to ask, "Where are these 3 golden silkworm star shining stones?" This golden silkworm star is just a spiritual mine used to forge weapons. I want to use it to forge some knives. usually used in our sect kitchen, and then forge some hose or something. A sect must have a spiritual, the herbs garden is not. Seeing that Luo Chenshui had recovered a little, Yi Feng also continued to talk about his own thoughts. Chopping knives, digging hoe, tolerate, I will endure. Luo Chenshui resisted the anger in her heart, but when she thought that the golden silkworm Xingyaoshi, which was strong enough to fight against thunder calamity, had to be forged into these commonly used tools, her blood pressure continued to rise. She originally thought that she should be able to withstand Yi Feng's prodigal behavior, but now it seems that she feels that she has overestimated herself and underestimated Yi Feng's maddened and prodigal mentality. What about the last 100 drops of the big demon blood essence? At the last level, Luo Chenshui kept cheering herself up. She believed that she would be able to withstand it. With this 100 drops of big demon blood essence, we can. Just when he was thinking about using these big demon blood essence to water the flowers, Yi Feng found that Luo Chenshui was staring at him with terrifying eyes, which made him instantly hold back what he wanted to say next. Master's first attempt to lose the family, the psychological capacity is still too poor, take your time. Thinking of this, Yi Feng stared at own Luo Chenshui with a smile. We can use this 100 drops of blood essence as a sect reward. For example, the realm of sect's disciples has a huge breakthrough, and sect elder has made great contributions to sect. I'll wait, you can get a certain amount of blood essence, master, what do you think? Hearing Yi Feng's use of the big demon blood essence, Luo Chenshui finally breathed a sigh of relief, and looked at the other party again with a much kinder look. Okay, just do as you say. Luo Chenshui didn't argue with Yi Feng about the prodigal methods of Epiphany Dan, Juya Weiankao, and golden silkworm Xingyaoshi. The last big demon, blood essence, could be used reasonably. She felt that Yi Feng had already given her a face. She wasn't stupid either, she just felt clearly that Yi Feng changed the way the big demon blood essence was a loser. Old Bai, notify everyone to come to the Great Hall of the sect immediately. Luo Chenshui sent a voice transmission to Bai Lao Divine Sense, who was not far from the Great Hall of the sect, and then looked at Yi Feng and continued to ask, Huang Xiaofei and Meng Tangyu before, you seem to have been together for several days. Come on, talk about it, why are you a loser? Knowing that Yi Feng loses some good things every day, Luo Chenshui couldn't hold back her fanatical 8 trigrams heart. It's not too bad. That 9-pattern blood ginseng pill, I let them eat until they vomit, I'm afraid they will never eat it again in a short time. Hearing this, Luo Chenshui didn't have a big reaction. Since there is pill recipe, even if it is difficult to refine the 9 patterns, it is just a little less effective, but after all, they are all blood ginseng pills. To vomit is nothing. I have a top-grade cultivation technique, which Huang Xiaofei used as toilet paper. Hearing this, the corners of Luo Chinzu's mouth finally couldn't help twitching, her eyes looking at Yi Feng rekindled her anger again. There is only one copy of Xingjizong, but you actually used it as toilet paper. Call. After taking a deep breath, Luo Chenshui quickly calmed down her own mentality. After all, the top-grade cultivation technique is a good thing in Xuantian continent, and if you get the upper realm, it will be like garbage. By the way, I have a fighting war saint body. That Huang Xiaofei used to be a playboy who was greedy for life and feared death. I thought about it and lost the family, so I gave it to him. Although it was a loser when it was given to him, but for some unknown reason, the kid got enlightened, and it didn't count as burying the war saint body. What? Luo Chinzu's expression finally changed when she heard the 4 characters of "du war saint," and she stared at Yi Feng, who was indifferent, and exclaimed. Impossible. It definitely can't be the war saint body I know. Thinking of the battle madman in the upper realm who made countless major forces feel a headache, especially the master who she once saw the battle madman come to challenge her with her own eyes. What impressed her most was the unyielding fighting spirit of the other party. Even if both legs and right arm are completely broken, the only remaining left hand is still holding a blood-splattered sword to support him and never fall. His eyes are burning with endless fighting intent, like a god of war that will never fall. With the dazzling golden light shining all over the body, the broken legs and right arm were all recovered in a very short time, and even more terrifying power erupted, even if her master was a realm higher than the other party, with the continuation of the battle, in the end, was defeated, and in the end it was defeated by the opponent. Unyielding fighting spirit. Fight more and more bravely. Step up battle. Just witnessing that battle, even if he lives again, the shadow of that battle madman is still affecting Luo Chenxue. What's impossible? Hearing what Luo Chenxue said, Yi Feng also noticed Luo Chenzu's strangeness. Nothing. By the way, what's the strength of this war saint you said? After Luo Chenxue calmed down, she looked at Yi Feng and continued to ask. There's no such thing as strong. It just doesn't require cultivation technique and martial skill. As long as you keep fighting, you can keep getting stronger. You can also learn the most suitable own martial skill in battle. By the way, this physique will become more courageous the more you fight, the longer the battle, the more serious the injury, and the more powerful you can burst out. After thinking for a while, Yi Feng briefly explained the situation of the war saint body. Silly. After listening to Yi Feng's words, Luo Chenxue was dumbfounded. Exactly the same. The situation Yi Feng said was exactly the same as the situation of the fighting lunatics she saw in the upper realm. 2 fighting lunatics. As long as Huang Xiaofei didn't bend halfway, he would definitely be able to ascend to the upper realm in the future. At that time, there would be 2 fighting lunatics in the upper realm, and even if that fighting lunatic knew of Huang Xiaofei's existence, he might even accept the opponent as his disciple. Yi Feng, the war saint body is far from simple as you think. You don't even know how powerful the fighting war saint body is. Although you gave it away, if possible, try to have a good relationship with that Huang Xiaofei. His future achievements, even in the upper realm, are terrible. Luo Chenxue was no longer in the mood to reprimand Yi Feng for losing such a physique. She only thought that Yi Feng could win over a good relationship with the other party, and it could be regarded as embracing the big legs of a future boss. What's the matter with pulling in? I wish I could stay away from that kid. What kind of hard work is cultivation, but also to make the Chamber of Commerce the first Chamber of Commerce, and then it will become a sharp blade in my hand. As long as I give an order, he will come to my side with all the power of the Chamber of Commerce as soon as possible, master. Zun, do you think there is something wrong with him? At this time, Yi Feng complained with a troubled face. Versailles. Thinking that he had to let Yi Feng have a good relationship with others just now, who would have thought that this prodigal disciple of his own had already accepted him as a younger brother? You just thought of the first floor, everyone is standing in the atmosphere. Luo Chenxue suddenly felt very tired at this moment. This master is suffering for her. Sect leader, everyone is here. At this time, Bai Tianong's voice sounded from outside, and soon everyone walked into the great hall of the sect. Sect leader, suddenly called us all together, what happened? Bai Tianong looked at Luo Chenxue, who looked a little wrong. Master, I suddenly want to be on a tuba, and I'll leave the rest to you. Yi Feng saw Luo Chenzu's eyes suddenly turn to himself, and quickly ran out of the great hall of the sect after making any excuses. Luo Chenxue had to personally feel the charm of the prodigal family. Looking at Yi Feng who ran out directly, Luo Chenxue didn't have any temper at all, it was useless to scold, and she was reluctant to fight. After all, she was a great disciple of her own, and she still thought about her in everything. What could she do? There is only one thing to call everyone here today, and that is to lose the family. Hearing Luo Chenzu's words, everyone was stunned, but the little yellow dog, who was lying on the ground sleeping, suddenly opened his eyes and stood up, and his eyes showed extremely humanized excitement. As expected of the dog raised by the prodigal son, a proper prodigal dog. Seeing the strangeness of the little yellow dog, Luo Chenxue also smiled helplessly, and the group of them couldn't compare to a dog in terms of prodigal. Thinking of this, Luo Chenxue is also very excited. A dog can be so prodigal, why are they not prosperous? Anyway, Yi Feng pays the bill. At this moment, Luo Chenzu's mentality changed again, and she didn't even notice it. Have you seen the 50 epiphany pills? I don't need to say more about the effect of this medicine pill. Each person takes 2 pills by himself. After speaking, Luo Chenxue was the first to walk over and take away 2 epiphany pills. After the others saw it, they looked at each other and stepped forward to take away the 2 epiphany pills that belonged to them. Sect leader, is this giving us sect benefits? How to distribute the remaining 28? Bai Tianong looked at the remaining 28 epiphany pills and asked, wondering if he could take 2 more, but he knew that epiphany pills were a good thing. How to distribute what? The rest of these epiphany pills are all little yellow dogs. Luo Chenxue looked at Bai Tianong and explained with a smile. Wong wong wong. The little yellow dog seemed to be able to understand people's words. Hearing Luo Chenzu's words, he barked excitedly a few times, and then went directly to the medicine pill to eat. In less than 10 seconds, the little yellow dog ate all the 28 epiphany pills, and then he closed his eyes and lay on the ground, immersed in the realm of epiphany. A yellow sword embryo gradually grew from the little yellow dogs. The sky above his head appeared, and at the same time, the artistic conception of Yellow Springs Kenshin also burst out, sweeping the entire Great Hall of the sect in an instant. Numb. At this time, everyone looked at the little yellow dog who was cultivating Yellow Springs Kenshin, and all of them went numb. A dog was actually cultivating Yellow Springs Kenshin. Can you believe it? Stop looking. 9-leaf soul returning grass, 2 plants per person, and the rest are from the little yellow dog. But you all listen to me, the 2 9-leaf soul returning grasses that you received can only be used to soak your feet. Soak one tonight and one tomorrow night. If anyone dares to disobey, don't think about it in the future. Get any baby from sect. After speaking, Luo Chenxue took the lead again and took the 2 9-leaf soul returning grasses. This 100 drops of the big demon blood essence will be a sect reward item. Anyone who contributes to the sect can get this big demon blood essence. I will formulate a series of reward methods in the past 2 days. As she said that, Luo Chenxue put away 100 drops of the purple thunder wild lion demon blood essence. As for these 3 golden silkworm stars and shining stones. Speaking of this, Luo Chenxue suddenly stopped. She didn't want to hit everyone anymore, she was going to find someone to make knives, hoes, etc. with 3 golden silkworm stars. When Luo Chenxue left the Great Hall of the sect with the golden silkworm Xingyao Shi, everyone became excited. Although there are only 2 epiphany pills, they are extremely precious to them. 9-leaf soul returning grass soaks their feet, they are completely acceptable, such an extravagant foot wash, I am afraid they will miss this opportunity and they will never encounter it in this life. The reaction of everyone was far beyond Luo Chenzu's expectations. I am afraid that in the entire sect, only Luo Chenxue would have a hard time accepting Yifeng's prodigal behavior. And the most excited among the crowd is Luo Kai. The target of his visit this time is the big demon blood essence. Now that he finally sees the hope he can get, how can he not be excited? I hope she doesn't go crazy knowing what I'm thinking. Luo Chenxue left sect with 3 golden silkworm Xingyao stones, and was going to ask her best friend to help refine it. Even if her best friend was only a 7th grade craftsman, it was no big deal to make some ordinary knives, hoes, etc. After half a day, Luo Chenxue came to Zifeng City, thinking back to the last time she brought Lang Wufang to buy some spiritual herbs for refining medicine pill, but in the end it became Yifeng's big injustice in the auction house, and her mood was also instantly became irritable. If it wasn't for her best friend here, she would never come here again. Hey, what wind is blowing to our sect leader? Seeing Luo Chenxue walking into the blacksmith shop, a woman in a black forging suit also put down the heavy hammer in her hand, looked at Luo Chenxue and laughed and laughed. Xiao Xiao, this time I want you to help me build something sect needs. Luo Chenxue ignored the other party's ridicule and said straight to the point. I don't know when your cold personality can be changed. I dare to say that in this world, apart from me and your father, no one can bear your personality. Chu Xiaoxiao is also deeply helpless for her indifferent girlfriend, but who made her hot and wants to melt this iceberg. No, and my eldest disciple can also bear it. Hearing this, Yi Feng's figure suddenly appeared in Luo Chenzu's mind. Thinking of the promise that the other party had given to her before, and thinking of everything the other party had done for sect, she couldn't help showing a smile. Question mark. A direct disciple. Also, when it comes to the first disciple, she actually laughed. Chu Xiaoxiao was stunned when she saw Luo Chenxue, who she didn't realize at this time. She had known Luo Chenxue for nearly 10 years, and she knew exactly what kind of person he was. If anyone told her that Luo Chenxue had nothing to do with that great disciple, she wouldn't believe it. Chenxue, isn't that Lang Wufang that you brought to buy spiritual herbs last time, an ordinary disciple of sect? When did you suddenly have a great disciple? You didn't tell me immediately about such a big thing. Chu Xiaoxiao pretended to be angry and looked at Luo Chenxue and asked aloud. You didn't even ask me. Okay, don't always talk about my eldest disciple, he is a pure prodigal. If you have time now, hurry up and help me build some tools like the knives I need for the sect kitchen and the hose for the spiritual herbs garden. Luo Chenxue didn't know why, but after feeling that Chu Xiaoxiao was very interested in Yifeng, she didn't want to talk to him anymore. Looking at Luo Chenxue, who was a little off, Chu Xiaoxiao shook his head and said, "My grandfather is here and is going to build an extraordinary weapon, so I need my help. I'm afraid I won't have time for 3 days." "Have time? Isn't it just making some ordinary knives, hoes and other iron tools?" At this time, a burly old man with white hair walked out of the blacksmith shop intersect, and his eyes were full of kindness when he looked at Luo Chenxue. "Hello Grandpa Chu." After seeing Chu Hongshan, Luo Chenxue also shouted respectfully. "Well, Chenxue, are those 5 immortals still strong in the past few years?" Looking at Luo Chenxue, Chu Hongshan asked with a loud laugh. Hearing this, Luo Chenxue smiled bitterly and said, "Grandpa Chu, the 5 great ancestors are in good health. Xiao, you can help Chenxue build some iron tools such as knives and hoes. Anyway, there are not many other things in our shop, just ordinary iron ore, and it won't take long to build them." Hearing Chu Hongshan's words, Luo Chenxue hurriedly said, "Grandpa Chu, although it is some ordinary iron tools, I have a small request here, that is, I have a little spiritual ore in my hand that I want to mix in it." "What's the matter? Just take it out, and I'll let Xiao build it for you." Chu Hongshan is also full of love for Luo Chenxue. After all, his own granddaughter has played with each other for nearly 10 years. He can be regarded as watching Luo Chenxue grow up, and he is no different from his own granddaughter. 3 golden lights suddenly flashed past Luo Chenzu's hand. When Chu Hongshan and Chu Xiaoxiao both stared at the 3 golden silkworm stars in their hands, Luo Chenxue felt helpless. She didn't want to lose the family, but the things belonged to her apprentice, and the apprentice insisted. Prodigal, what can she do as a master? "Luo Chenxue, what do you mean is that you want to mix these 3 golden silkworm Xingyao stones into the iron, use the knives that smelted the golden silkworm Xingyao stone to kill chickens and ducks in the back kitchen of the sect, and use the smelted golden silkworm Xingyao stone to kill chickens and ducks. The hoe of Xingyao Shi to reclaim the spiritual herbs garden." After reacting, Chu Xiaoxiao still looked at Luo Chenxue with a look of disbelief and asked aloud. "That's right." Looking at the rounded girlfriend with her pupils staring again, Luo Chenxue suddenly had a strange feeling. This kind of feeling is very strange. I didn't do anything. Why do I have a very refreshing feeling? Is this the happiness brought by a prodigal family? Luo Chenxue thought, full of doubts at this time. "Grandpa, what are you doing, Grandpa?" Just when Luo Chenxue was puzzled, Chu Xiaoxiao's anxious voice pulled her back. Looking at Chu Hongshan, who was being held by Chu Xiaoxiao and the kitchen knife in the other's hand, Luo Chenxue was stunned. "What's the situation? Is this going to kill me?" Thinking of this, especially seeing Chu Hongshan's eyes full of anger, Luo Chenxue was scared to retreat for 2 steps. It was the first time she saw such a terrible side of Chu Hongshan since she was a child. "Don't stop me. You see, I don't go to Xingjizong to hack and kill those 5 old fools. This is the sect holy maiden they carefully taught. That's the golden silkworm Xingyao stone. Even in the heavenly Tao battlefield, it's hard to get a spiritual mine. Just these 3 golden silkworm Xingyao stones are enough to make many transcends tribulation cultivators fight with blood, but she to actually mix such precious golden silkworm star stones into knives and hoes, this old man has never seen such a prodigal in his long life." Hearing Chu Hongshan's words, Luo Chenxue finally understood and explained with a wry smile. "Grandpa Chu, it's useless for you to question the 5 great ancestors about this, because these 3 golden silkworm stars are shining stones. It was given to me by the honored elder of Xingjizong, and it was also ordered by the other party to do so." Boom! At this moment, an extremely terrifying monster Qi coercion came crashing down, and then Yifeng, who was full of anger, rushed into the blacksmith shop and shouted, "Who dares to hurt my master? Master, don't be afraid, this disciple is here to save you." Seeing that Luo Chenxue was not injured, Yifeng was also relieved, but seeing the old man holding a kitchen knife, Yifeng stepped out and blocked Luo Chenxue and said, "Master, can you save the disciples some snacks? Fortunately, I was bored in sect and asked Xiaoshui to take me to this Zifeng city for a stroll, otherwise what should I do if something happened to you?" Silly. At this moment, Luo Chenshui, Chu Xiaoxiao and Chu Hongshan in the blacksmith shop were all dumbfounded. Master is in trouble. My eldest disciple is really good. Looking at Yifeng standing in front of her, a warm current flowed in Luo Chenzu's heart. It was her blessing to receive such a disciple. Yifeng, it's not about you. But the current situation still needs to be explained clearly. But before Luo Chenshui finished speaking, Yifeng directly interrupted and said to the blood-devouring mantis on the side, "Send the master out of the blacksmith shop, I don't want the master to see blood." Boom. Before Luo Chenshui could react, she was directly pushed out of the blacksmith shop by an irresistible force. She wanted to try to enter the blacksmith shop, but found that she was blocked by a huge demon force, which made her anxious. It's not that she is worried about Chu Xiaoxiao and Chu Hongshan, but she is worried about her precious apprentice. Although the blood-devouring mantis has survived 2 heavenly Dao Thunder tribulations, Chu Hongshan has survived the 9th stage of the transcends tribulation realm of 5 heavenly Dao Thunder tribulations. The top guy. Even seeing blood, whoever sees blood is not necessarily. Inside the blacksmith shop, Yifeng pulled a chair and sat down, arrogantly looking at Chu Hongshan opposite him and sneered, "You immortal dare to rob my master, and even want to hurt my master, who will give it to you? Courage. Who are you calling immortal?" Hearing this, Chu Xiaoxiao's fiery temper instantly rose, pointing at Yifeng and wanting to scold him, but was stopped by Chu Hongshan on the side. Good, really good. Chu Hongshan didn't have the slightest anger, but looked at Yifeng, who was arrogant and full of admiration. "Grandpa, he scolds you so much, and you even praise him." Chu Xiaoxiao on the side was so angry when she heard what her grandfather said, she didn't even know what to say. "If you can receive such a good disciple in the future, and you can stand in front of you regardless of your own safety in the event of danger, I'll be happy if he scolds me." Chu Hongshan looked at the angry Chu Xiaoxiao and explained with a smile. Hearing this, Chu Xiaoxiao finally reacted. Although the arrogant guy on the other side made her extremely unhappy, but she thought that the other party was her best friend's direct disciple, and to have such a direct disciple, she was also her best friend. And feel happy. Thinking of this, Chu Xiaoxiao's anger also subsided in an instant, and when she looked at Yifeng again, she no longer felt so annoyed. "Little guy, I admit that the demonic beasts in the metamorphosis around you are very strong, but it should also be very clear that if it really fights, it is not my opponent." At this time, Chu Hongshan looked at Yifeng and said curiously, he was very curious about where the other party's confidence came from. Hearing this, the blood-devouring mantis laughed, and even looked at Chu Hongshan with a hint of schadenfreude. It really wants to tell the other party that if you are honestly repaired by it, the owner may be able to let you go if he is happy, but if you really want to provoke the great horror of wearing golden armor, you are really dead. Dare to make a bet that you will do everything you can to me, but you won't hurt me in the slightest. Yifeng looked at the other party and said provocatively. Oh, hearing this, Chu Hongshan became even more interested, stepped forward, and his right fist with terrifying brute force directly hit Yifeng with a sound of breaking the air. As a refiner, as a body cultivator, he has already reached a terrifying level of control over his body strength. He is confident that this punch can be received within 1 centimeter of Yifeng's forehead. 3 meters, 2 meters, 1 meter. When Chu Hongshan's right fist was less than 1 meter away from Yifeng, a suffocating terrifying pressure instantly enveloped the entire blacksmith shop, and Chu Hongshan instantly stopped in place. Ha ha ha, this time it's finally my turn to come out. As a space crack appeared out of thin air in everyone's sight, a one-armed man with a mad look and gloomy eyes walked out of it. Manic, bloodthirsty, crazy. When everyone saw the one-armed man walking out of the space crack, an inexplicable unease instantly filled everyone's heart. One-armed, thin body, looking gloomy, the right hand holding the blood-colored rapier kept shaking. Crazy eyes are constantly scanning the people in the blacksmith shop. If there is one word to describe it, it is crazy. My lord, will you immediately kill all the people in the entire city? After scanning for a long time, the one-armed man knelt down toward Yifeng and asked with endless excitement in his voice. Boom. Hearing this, let alone other people, even Yifeng trembled violently. Are you here to protect me or to slaughter the city? Whether it was Yifeng or the others, no one doubted what the one-armed man just said. There was no reason, it was just an inexplicable intuition. As long as Yifeng nodded lightly, the other party would definitely slaughter the city directly. You just want to hurt my lord. Don't worry, I won't kill you directly. I will cut off the flesh from your body piece by piece. I will make you into the most perfect skeleton, leaving only one head, so that you can gradually eat all your own meat. Seeing that Yi Feng didn't give an order, the one-armed man turned his head to look at Chu Hongshan, showing an excited look, and said something that made everyone shudder. What the hell? This madman is also in the guards of the Prodigal family. Yi Feng was also frightened. He never thought that there were such lunatics in the Prodigal guards. Don't want. We are not enemies. I am your master's best friend and friend. He is my grandfather. We have no intention of hurting your master at all. This is all a misunderstanding. If you don't believe me, you can ask your master. At this moment, even the hot and carefree Chu Xiaoxiao was already scared to tears. Looking at the madman on the opposite side, she was afraid to explain it a second later, and the other side would directly attack her grandfather. Yi Feng was also stunned when he heard this. Looking at Chu Xiaoxiao, who was crying in fright, Yi Feng thought about it and said directly to the blood-devouring mantis beside him, "Go out and ask master if it is true, remember not to let master come in." Quote. Yes, master. The blood-devouring mantis who turned around and walked outside the blacksmith shop. At this time, his legs were constantly shaking, and his eyes were full of endless horror. If it wasn't the righteous golden-armored man, but the madman in front of him, thinking of this, it wouldn't even dare to think about it anymore. Now it can only be thankful that it didn't encounter this terrifying madman. Lord Sect Leader, the woman inside said she was your best friend. They didn't have any ill will towards you before, was that true? Hearing the sound and seeing a blood-devouring mantis in white clothes walking out of the blacksmith shop, Luo Chenshui was puzzled, because she found that the legs of the blood-devouring mantis were trembling all the time, and her face was full of confusion. It was also extremely abnormal, as if something extremely terrifying had happened. What happened inside? You shouldn't be Grandpa Chu's opponent, right? Looking at the extremely abnormal blood-devouring mantis, Luo Chenshui asked directly, but Grandpa Chu gave the answer. Sect Leader, don't know anymore, or I'm afraid you'll have nightmares at night. The blood-devouring mantis is extremely intelligent, and naturally got the answer he wanted from the 3 words of Grandpa Chu. After saying such a sentence, Luo Chenshui turned around and walked into the blacksmith shop. Master, Sect Leader called this old man Grandpa Chu, we may have really misunderstood. Just as the blood-devouring mantis finished speaking, he found that the one-armed man looked directly at him with an extremely cold gaze. At this moment, it was like a deep ice cave, and the whole body trembled uncontrollably. My lord, whether it's a misunderstanding or not, if he dares to attack you, he should be wasted. It took a long time to come out, but now I didn't even see any blood. The one-armed man stood up and looked at Yi Feng and persuaded Yi Feng with unwillingness. Hearing this, Yi Feng's face gradually turned ugly. He felt that the Prodigal guards in front of him had a sense of threatening him. System, what should I do if the members of the Prodigal guard are dishonest? Also, what kind of existence is the Prodigal guard? Yi Feng asked the system directly at this time. Ding. Kill without mercy. Ding. The system can't explain the situation of the Prodigal guards to the host. As the sound of the system sounded, an inexplicable force emerged from his body. At this moment, he felt that everything about the other party was under his own control, and he could easily obliterate the member of the Prodigal guard in front of him. Are you teaching me what to do? Pong. As Yi Feng's voice fell, the one-armed man knelt on his knees directly, and a spider web-like crack appeared on the ground extending 4 or 5 meters around. My lord, my subordinates dare not. After feeling the power that controls his own life and death, the one-armed man hurriedly explained to Yi Feng with a terrified expression. Give you a chance to live. Follow me. With that said, Yi Feng walked directly towards the blacksmith shop inner sect. Entering the inner sect room, Yi Feng looked at the one-armed man who followed and asked directly, tell me about the situation of the Prodigal guard. My lord, there are currently only 10 members of the Prodigal guard. If you want to become a member of the Prodigal guard, you need to go through layers of selection, and the assessment content is also varied. Not only that, even if you become a member of the Prodigal guard, you have to continue the assessment every period of time. If the assessment fails, you will be directly assessed, banished from the Prodigal guard. And all the members of the Prodigal guard have only one mission, to protect my lord, even if they give their own lives. The man with the broken arm didn't know why Yi Feng asked such a question, but he still told everything he knew. I'll give you a chance today. If you dare to disobey my orders next time, I'll kill you directly. Let's go back. Peng. Hearing Yi Feng's words, the man with the broken arm knelt on the ground again to thank Yi Feng for not killing him, and then directly tore a space crack and walked in. Interesting, I thought that the Prodigal guards were all about the strong man in golden armor, but now it seems that each member of the Prodigal guards has different personalities, which is much more interesting. Thinking of this, Yi Feng also directly walked out of the inner room. After all, there was still a misunderstanding outside that needed to be resolved. Seeing that Yi Feng walked out of the inner room alone, Chu Hongshan and Chu Xiaoxiao were also relieved. It was the crazy one-armed man who put too much psychological pressure on them. However, when Chu Hongshan and Chu Xiaoxiao saw that Yi Feng directly took out 5 golden silkworm stars and placed them on the forging table, they were immediately stunned, and they didn't understand what Yi Feng meant. You two, it was all a misunderstanding just now. As long as you forget everything just now, these 5 golden silkworm stars are all yours. No matter what relationship the two have with Luo Chenshui, but as long as they are not related by blood, such as the little sister-in-law Luo Yaoyao, Yi Feng really won't be too used to it, and if you want to solve the previous misunderstanding, then the family will be fine. Who the hell are you? Why are you approaching Chenshui? What is your purpose? If you don't make it clear, I will definitely tell her what happened before. Before Chu Hongshan could speak, Chu Xiaoxiao was the first to speak out. It was because Yi Feng's behavior was too abnormal, which had to make her suspect the other party's purpose of approaching her best friend. On the side, Chu Hongshan shook his head when he heard this, realizing that his own granddaughter was still too young. Grandpa, what are you doing? However, when Chu Xiaoxiao saw that his grandfather walked over silently and put away the 5 golden silkworm stars, he immediately shouted in a hurry. No matter who he is, even if you hurt Chenshui, he won't hurt Chenshui. How can I have such a stupid granddaughter as you? Remember, we were discussing how to forge those knives and hoes just now, remember? Hearing Chu Xiaoxiao's shout, Chu Hongshan reprimanded directly with a majestic face. Chu Xiaoxiao wanted to argue more, but Chu Hongshan directly suppressed the words behind with one look. Grandpa, I know what to do. Chu Xiaoxiao said unwillingly. Stinky boy, don't think you can eat Aunt Ding like this. Next, I will also go to Qinzu's sect. I will stare at you every day. I don't believe that I can't find your secret. I will never let you hurt Chenshui. Glancing at Yi Feng, Chu Xiaoxiao also made a decision. Peng, Luo Chenshui, who had been trying outside, found that the demonic power of the blood-devouring mantis had finally disappeared. She slammed open the door of the blacksmith shop and rushed in. Seeing that several people inside were safe and sound, she let out a long breath. For a while, she was dying of anxiety outside. What were you all doing just now? Luo Chenshui glanced around, and finally set her eyes on herself, the prodigal apprentice who didn't stop at all, and asked. Master, misunderstanding, it was just a misunderstanding. It's all Xiao Shui's fault. He said that he noticed that you were in danger, and the scene just now happened. What? If there's nothing else, I'll go first. Seeing Luo Chenshui staring at him, Yi Feng explained with an embarrassed expression and left the blacksmith shop with the blood-devouring mantis. Chenshui, you are a good disciple. Seeing Yi Feng and the blood-devouring mantis leaving, Chu Hongshan was also a little envious. It doesn't matter who Yi Feng is and what secrets he has, but if there is such a person guarding his granddaughter, he can wake up from his dreams. By the way, you said before that these 3 golden silkworm Xingyao stones were given to you by the honorary elder of the Xingji sect. Why didn't I know that there was such an elder in the Xingji sect? Being soft-hearted and short-handed, Chu Hongshan also directly changed the subject, and Luo Chenshui from the province asked him what happened just now. When asked this question, Chu Hongshan also wanted to take the opportunity to learn more about the situation. He was very curious as to why there were so many golden silkworms and stars in Yi Feng's hands. Actually, my eldest disciple is the honorary elder of Xingji sect, and it was recognized by the 5 great ancestors together. He also gave me the 3 golden silkworm Xingyao stones in my hand. Hearing these words, Chu Hongshan and Chu Xiaoxiao looked at each other, their eyes filled with confusion. Yi Feng is your great disciple. You are the daughter of Luo Wuming, the sect leader of Xingjizong, and also the holy maiden of Xingjizong. And then your eldest disciple is now the honorary elder of Xingji sect. Are you so good at playing? Chen Shui, don't you have to call him Elder Yi? Chu Xiaoxiao looked at Luo Chen Shui with round eyes and asked. Rai smile. Hearing Chu Xiaoxiao's question, Luo Chen Shui also laughed bitterly. It's not just Elder Yi, call him master, don't you go crazy. Impossible. However, at this moment, Chu Hongshan frowned slightly and said, I know those 5 old guys very well. They couldn't have done such absurd things. Is there something special about your great disciple? Prodigal. Very loser. Very loser. Question mark, question mark, question mark. Hearing Luo Qinzu's description of 3 things in a row, Chu Hongshan and Chu Xiaoxiao both put a big question mark on their foreheads. Can a prodigal lose an honorable elder? He donated 100 million top-quality spirit crystals to Xingjizong, and even boldly told Xingjizong to permanently open the Guardian Array. He will continue to give it when it is used up. If sect is not defeated, he will not be defeated. Opportunity. As for Yi Feng, who gave Xingjizong the enhanced version of the 9-star sword formation, this already belongs to sect Mixin. No matter how good the relationship is, she will definitely not say it at this time. I see. Though 100 million top-quality spirit stones are nothing to your Xingji sect, they are still a huge sum. Just as Chu Hongshan was talking to himself, Chu Xiaoxiao, who was beside him, suddenly tugged at the corner of his shirt and said, Grandpa, it's not 100 million top-quality spirit stones, it's 100 million top-quality spirit crystals, it's spirit crystals. Silly. After hearing Chu Xiaoxiao's emphatically reminding Ling Jing, Chu Hongshan was dumbfounded. 100 million top-quality spirit crystals. 100 million top-grade spirit crystals. If you lose all of them, then give them. Even the golden silkworm Xingyaoshi is used to ruin the family in such a maddening way. Thinking of this, Chu Hongshan's eyes flashed with light, and he looked at Luo Chen Shui and said straight to the point, Chen Shui, Grandpa Chu has treated you like a granddaughter since childhood. Now that Grandpa Chu is old and wants to go to your sect to be an elder, you won't refuse. Chu Hongshan's idea is very simple. His art of refining has been stagnant for 10 years. To break through the current bottleneck requires huge spirit stones and precious spiritual mines. Waiting is extremely expensive, and now that he knows some of Yi Feng's situation, he feels that this is an opportunity. After hearing Chu Hongshan's words, Luo Chen Shui also showed a wry smile. Here we go again. Sect is coming again, although it is not a disciple, but such a steady increase of sect elder is not a problem. Chen Shui, you can see that your sect has just been established not long ago. I am afraid that apart from Bai Tianong, there is no strong person who can control the market. Although I am going to old age, if something happens to your sect, Grandpa Chu, the contacts accumulated over the years can still play a role. Seeing that Luo Chen Shui didn't react, Chu Hongshan directly placed his most important bargaining chip with gritted teeth. A top-level 9th grade artifact refiner, the network accumulated over the past 100 years is extremely terrifying. Grandpa Chu, if you want to come, come, but if sect needs a refining tool in the future, I will trouble you. Bring it on. One is coming, and both are coming. Luo Chen Shui also knew that the purpose of Chu Hongshan's coming to sect was definitely related to Yi Feng. She was considered a broken pot now. Anyway, sect couldn't stop. Sample. Chu Xiaoxiao, who was on the side, was stunned, but laughed. Originally, she was still thinking about what kind of excuse she should find to join Luo Qinzu's sect. Now that her grandfather has joined the sect, she naturally has to follow her. Who are those people who dare to release spirit power fluctuations so recklessly? Aren't they afraid of provoking people who can't be provoked? You rubbish of the 3rd stage of the gas realm, don't you see the word Jingyu printed on the robes they are wearing? These are people from Jingyu Villa, and they are definitely the top group of powerhouses in the villa. I really don't know who provoked Jingyu Villa, and was able to make all the strong men in Jingyu Villa go out. It is said that Jingyu Villa Zhuang advocate Shufeng successfully survived the first Heavenly Dao Thunder calamity some time ago, and his strength is far superior to the average transcends Tribulation Realm 9th stage peak powerhouse. I really don't know who provoked him. Countless people in the sealed city watched the dozens of strong men from Jingyu Villa in the sky crossing the town in such a domineering way, and they all began to whisper. Full speed ahead. No accident, I can catch up with the person who killed my son early tomorrow morning. Dare to kill my son Zhao Shufeng, no matter who he is, I want him to die. Zhao Shufeng shouted to all the strong men in the villa with murderous aura. ... Little blood, it's so boring. It doesn't make much sense to break the town. Yi Feng, who had left the blacksmith shop, wandered around Zifeng City for a while, and felt that it was not as interesting as Heavenly Dao City. At least there were a lot of entertainment technology products that he was familiar with. Hearing this, the blood-devouring mantis also smiled bitterly, because it really didn't know how to answer this. Whether it's humans or demonic beasts, let's not sleep comfortably every day. After all, cultivators and demonic beasts don't actually need to sleep. They even use their sleeping time for cultivation. Where can someone say that you are boring? You are cultivation when you are bored. You don't cultivate all day long. You are full of ideas about how to lose your family. How can you let me take it? Master, there is a free trade area in the north of the city. If we go there and see, maybe we will encounter something good. Not knowing how to pick it up, the blood-devouring mantis could only pick it up hard. Seeing the lunatic who appeared before, it was really worried that if one of its own was not doing well, Yi Feng would bring that lunatic out to repair itself. How do you know? Hearing this, Yi Feng also looked at the blood-devouring mantis with doubtful eyes, knowing that the two of them had been wandering around for a long time, but they were always in the south and west areas of the city. Master, while you were away, I came here with Coldwind to buy a batch of spiritual herbs. The blood-devouring mantis quickly explained. I see. Then let's go and have a look. It doesn't matter if you pick it up or not. What matters is to see if there is a chance to lose your family. With that said, Yi Feng walked directly towards the north of the city. I've come over to take a look. I just received a batch of goods. All of them were obtained from the ruins in the Heavenly Dao battlefield. There is definitely a treasure you want. From the spiritual herbs in the third stage Heavenly Dao battlefield, there are only 13 plants left. If you miss it, you really miss it. The secrets of cultivation technique and martial skill without a name are all produced on the battlefield of Heavenly Dao. If you are confident in yourself, you can come and have a look. As soon as he came to the area in the north of the city near the city gate, Yi Feng heard the loud cries of hawking. Palm-sized shabby human cauldron. Only half of the cyan sword is left. Unknown spiritual herbs in special boxes that stop spiritual chi from emitting. A shabby robe full of stains. Coming to the booth that had just bought the goods from the Heavenly Dao battlefield ruins, Yi Feng felt that even if he was a prodigal, he would never buy these things. Second booth. The third booth. When Yi Feng came to the 18th booth, he stopped. Ding. Discover the Heavenly Dao order. Ding. Publish a random task. Successfully buy the old token with the Heavenly Dao token. If the task is successful, you will be rewarded with 100 prodigal points. If the mission fails, you will be deducted 100 prodigal points. You can refuse. Hearing the system prompt sounding in his mind, Yi Feng's eyes also fell directly on an old token the size of a palm and full of mud on the booth. On the outside, it looks like a broken token made of ordinary spiritual minds, but inside it hides the extremely precious Heavenly Dao order. The owner of the stall was a middle-aged man wearing a black Taoist robe. At this time, he also noticed that Yi Feng was staring at the broken token that had not been sold for 10 days, which made him overjoyed. I feel like I've been wrong today. After all, even if you like it, it can't be so obvious. There is no clear price for these things on the booth. How many spirit stones are not what he said. But Yi Feng didn't care about this at all. His only task was to successfully buy this dilapidated token that contained the Heavenly Dao order. It didn't matter how many spirit stones he spent. Stall owner, how to sell this token? Yi Feng looked at the middle-aged man and asked straight to the point. Young master, you still have the vision. This token is the best thing in my booth. In order to get this token, I almost died in the Heavenly Dao battle. Before the man could finish speaking, Yi Feng immediately interrupted impatiently and asked again, how to sell it. Young master is bold, one price, 3 million low-quality spirit stones. The middle-aged man raised 3 fingers and said the price directly. However, the middle-aged man frowned instantly when Yi Feng heard the price, which made him a little uneasy, and secretly thought that the price he offered was too high. After all, He has been selling this broken token for 10 days, and no one will buy even 500,000 low-quality spirit stones. Young master, although the price is a bit high, it's definitely a good thing. The middle-aged man was bragging again at this time, and then he was ready to bargain with Yi Feng next. Cheap, too cheap. Yi Feng threw out an interspatial ring with 3 million low-quality spirit stones, and the blood-devouring mantis was also a sensible mantis, so he took the token directly for Yi Feng. Question mark, question mark, question mark. Bought this. Shouldn't it be a bargain? The middle-aged man looked at the interspatial ring in his hand, and he was completely dumbfounded. He was even prepared that the price would be cut by the other party to 500,000 low-quality spirit stones. Who would have thought that the other party would not even pay back the price? Bought it right away. Uncomfortable. I don't know why, but the middle-aged man was extremely uncomfortable at this time, although he sold it at a high price, and there was always a feeling that it was cheap. Young master, the transaction has been completed, and the things are already yours. I don't want to know what's valuable about this token, but can you tell me how much I lost by selling it? The unwilling middle-aged man looked at Yi Feng and asked directly. Of course, he could not guarantee whether the other party would answer him. Hearing the question from the stall owner, Yi Feng was also taken aback, thought for a while and said, how can I say, this thing is useful to me, not to mention 3 million low-quality spirit stones, even if it is 3 million top-quality spirit stones, I will buy it without saying a word. After speaking, Yi Feng took the blood-devouring mantis to the distance. Puff. When Yi Feng walked away, the more the middle-aged man thought about it, the more uncomfortable it became, and the last mouthful of old blood splattered out. It seems that he earned 2.5 million low-quality spirit stones, but he actually lost 3 million top-quality spirit stones. The middle-aged man felt that he could not stand this grievance. Thinking of this, the slightly pale middle-aged man immediately closed the stall, glanced at the direction Yi Feng was leaving, and there was a killing intent in his eyes. Killing intent. Master, we seem to be targeted by that guy. Although he had already left several hundred meters, the blood-devouring mantis detected the murderous intent undisguised by the other party. Real. Seeing Yi Feng's excited expression at this time, the blood-devouring mantis was stunned. Although the other party is just a rubbish from the 8th stage of the Purple Palace, shouldn't he be angry when he is targeted? Why are you still excited? This is the fantasy world in my heart. How can people be kind in this world of the weak or prey to the strong? Finally I met someone who wanted to kill me when I saw money, otherwise I would be a failure to be a prodigal god. Yi Feng thought very excitedly at this time. Let's go, hurry up, find a restaurant and open a first-class guest room, let's wait for him to grab it. For the first person who dares to kill himself and want to get rich, Yi Feng is going to prepare a big gift for the other party. He feels that his identity as a prodigal hero will finally be recognized. You don't even have someone to rob you, how can you be worthy of the status of a prodigal god? Therefore, he is going to give the other party a big gift to show his respect first, and then kill the other party. As for the people who wanted to kill Li Fei after he left in the 2nd stage Heavenly Dao battlefield, they didn't want to kill him for money, they just wanted to kill him. Li Xiaoming, are you sure that the other party really has 3 million top-quality spirit stones? A strong man with a scar on his face followed the middle-aged stall owner to the restaurant where Yi Feng was, and before entering the restaurant, he reconfirmed with the other party. Boss Tiger, he definitely has 3 million premium spirit stones in his hands, even I feel more than that. Furthermore, that broken token definitely hides some secrets, even if you snatch that token back, it will be a big profit. Li Xiaoming was also bewitched at this time, but at the thought of giving the other party 60% of the benefits, he felt a little unwilling in his heart. If it wasn't for the fact that he couldn't see through the strength of the young man in white following Yi Feng, how could he find someone else for such a good thing? You better not lie to me. If you don't get any benefit from this trip, don't blame me for being rude to you. The knife-scarred strong man gave Li Xiaoming a grim look before striding into the restaurant. Master, this is too much. In the guest room on the 2nd floor, the blood-devouring mantis looked at the neatly placed 2,000 low-grade spirit crystals, and his face was covered with black lines. Even the loser. But others are going to rob you, and even want to kill. You actually prepared so many low-quality spirit crystals to give to each other. This mantis would like to call you the ceiling of the prodigal world. Excessive. If it wasn't for, you do not understand. Yi Feng really wanted to say that this was what he fought with the system to get it, but he felt little about it. After all, it was the first time someone was robbed, and it was a very memorable event. This guy is really lucky. He originally came here to rob him, but he left happily with 2,000 low-grade spirit crystals for nothing. This is equivalent to 200,000 top-grade spirit stones. The blood-devouring mantis also said with some envy at this time. What do you think? He came to rob me, and even wanted to kill me. He took my low-grade spirit crystal and wanted to leave alive. Keep an eye on me for a while, and kill him when he gets these low-quality spirit crystals and prepares to leave. Hearing the words of the blood-devouring mantis, Yi Feng looked at the other party and said directly like a fool. What the hell, can you still play like this? After listening to Yi Feng's words, the blood-devouring mantis couldn't believe its own ears, and even felt that the 3 views of own had been refreshed. At this time, the blood-devouring mantis looked at Yi Feng again, and the eyes of the mantis had also undergone earth-shaking changes. In the future, whoever said that the owner of his own was a simple prodigal, he would definitely fight with the opponent. A simple prodigal can play such a flower. Remember, you must wait for the other party to take all these low-quality spirit crystals before you can do it. This is a memorable event. Yi Feng was worried that the blood-devouring mantis would make a mistake, so he reminded it again. Listen, are you talking about people? Playing the other party between the palms of the hands is actually a memorable thing. Horrible, terrible. The blood-devouring mantis felt that the maniac with the broken arm he saw before was already perverted, but now he felt that Yi Feng was even more perverted. This is the room. At this moment, a low voice of inquiry rang from outside the house. Master, there are 2 people here. The new one has the strength of the 7th stage of the primordial spirit realm. He should be the helper that the stall owner was looking for. The blood-devouring mantis quickly explained the situation outside. Come in, the door is open. Hearing the words of the blood-devouring mantis, Yi Feng shouted directly to the 2 people outside the door with a touch of excitement. Squeak. The door was easily pushed open. When Li Xiaoming and Boss Hu looked at the 2,000 low-grade spirit crystals neatly placed in the guest room, especially sitting behind the low-grade spirit crystals and watching the 2 with excited expressions on their faces. Yi Feng, the expressions of the 2 of them changed instantly. I know the purpose of the 2 of you. You guys are willing to rob me, that's why you look at me. This is 2,000 low-grade spirit crystals. I hope you 2 don't dislike me. Yi Feng looked at the 2 and said with a smile. Angry. Hearing this, both Li Xiaoming and Boss Hu were all angry. Enough, we're here to rob, where are you begging? Just 2,000 low-quality spirit crystals want to send us away. What we want is more than these, but 3 million top-quality spirit stones. Li Xiaoming was the first to look at Yi Feng and shouted angrily. After all, his promise to Boss Tiger was 3 million top-quality spirit stones, and the mere 2,000 low-quality spirit crystals were only worth 200,000 top-quality spirit stones. A full 2.8 million. If this angers Boss Tiger, he will be in danger himself. System, what did I say? I just said that this bit of spirit crystal is not enough. Now it's good. My dignified prodigal god is disgusted by the robbery. What do you think about it? Hearing Li Xiaoming's anger, Yi Feng also scolded the system full of anger. It was obviously a memorable event, but it turned into an unbearable memory. It's more losing face than that. Boom! Just as Yi Feng scolded the system, a terrifying aura came crashing down. As the space on the side was torn apart, a strong man in golden armor and holding a golden sword walked directly out of it. Call. And after seeing that the old acquaintance was a strong man in golden armor, the blood-devouring mantis on the side was also relieved. It really didn't want to see that one-armed lunatic who made people feel depressed and fearful. What's the situation? I haven't been in danger yet. What are you doing here? Seeing the appearance of the prodigal guards, Yi Feng also stared at the left and right, with a dazed look on his face. Brush. With a flash of golden sword energy, Li Xiaoming and Boss Hu, who had not yet reacted, were directly annihilated. What's the situation? Seeing that the strong man in golden armor came out and wiped out the 2 of them with one knife and then left directly, this really made Yi Feng look stupid. Ding. The host is a prodigal hero. The meaning of being robbed for the first time is extraordinary. This kind of person is simply not worthy of being included in your prodigal growth process. At this moment, the system's voice suddenly rang out from Yifeng's mind. ... Hearing the system's words, Yifeng's facial muscles twitched uncontrollably. He had just questioned the system, and he had already thought of countless possibilities in his mind, but he really didn't expect the system to be so playful. The blood-devouring mantis on the side is also confused. Although it really wanted to ask Yifeng what was going on, but seeing Yifeng with a dark face put away the 2,000 low-grade spirit crystals on the ground, and closed his mouth very wisely. Come on, back to sect. Yifeng completely lost the mood to play, and said directly to the blood-devouring mantis beside him. Ding. Because of a miscalculation by the system, the host is specially compensated for 100,000 prodigal points, the 9th rank Qianyu Sword Array Flag 100, and the Kowloon Burning Heaven Cauldron 1. Just after Yifeng walked out of the restaurant with a sullen breath, the voice of the system rang out of his mind again. System, you still have some conscience. Hearing that the system acknowledged the own problem and compensated for these rewards, Yifeng also laughed and became angry, but who would have trouble with the rewards? Sitting on the body of the blood-devouring mantis, Yifeng also checked the reward of the system compensation. 1,000 Feather Sword Formation. After opening the formation, you can gather the heaven and earth within the range of the formation. Spiritual chi can condense into 1,000 feather swords, and attack all creatures in the formation independently. 9 Dragons Burning Heaven Cauldron. The cauldron contains 9 demon dragon souls, refining thousands of spiritual herbs, burning the heavens and the earth's spiritual chi, and becoming the supreme elixir. This 9th rank 9th tier 1,000 feather sword array flag should be a powerful killing array, and it gave me 100 faces. I have to think about how to defeat these array flags. As for this 9 Dragons Burning Heaven Cauldron, the system has given too little information, and I don't know much about the human cauldron that the pill refining master needs, but this thing should be very good. Go back and ask junior brother Wufang. As the sky darkened, Yifeng and the blood-devouring mantis finally returned to sect. Hey, why is the martial arts field so lively? Yifeng, who was walking towards his residence, passed by the inner sect martial arts training ground, and found that there were shouts coming from there, and he was ready to go over there with a look of doubt. Martial skill lies in actual combat. Even if you have extraordinary wisdom, it is useless if you can't use your martial skill to the fullest in battle. Give me all the fighting. Just after arriving at the martial arts training ground, Bai Tianong's angry rebuke came into Yifeng's ears. What the hell? What's so special about this? Looking at Wu Tianzhao and Lang Wufang, who had been trained as dogs, and at the dignified faces supervising them by Tianhong, Sha Yu, and Luo Kai, Yifeng really didn't understand what was going on. Elder brother, you are finally back. Come and save me, the 3 elders are crazy. The sharp-eyed Lang Wufang saw Yifeng coming over, as if he saw a life-saving straw. He rushed towards Yifeng like he was crazy. Little junior brother, you are finally back. Hearing Lang Wufeng's cry, Wu Tianzhao, who was fighting in the chaos, also saw Yifeng and rushed towards Yifeng like crazy. Forehead. What is happening? Looking at Wu Tianzhao and Lang Wufang running towards him, Yifeng directly looked at the 3 elders with a puzzled look. Pong. Sha Yu suddenly stepped down with Spirit Power's foot, and a half-meter-high square clod burst out. When did you come back, Yifeng? You're exhausted from going out, sit down and rest for a while. Saying that, Sha Tianyu came over with a square clod, and then placed the clod behind Yifeng. Cool, this clod has just been taken out of the ground. What should I do if my stomach is so cold? Saying that, Hong put his right hand on the clod during the day, and the fire spirit power frantically emerged, and began to quickly heat the cold clod. And Yifeng was accustomed to the operation of the two, because when Sha Yu first came to sect, this kind of scene had already occurred once, but Luo Chenshui, Luo Wuming and Lang Wufang were shocked enough. What's the matter, is it so introverted? Luo Kai, who saw this scene, was dumbfounded. In order to please Yifeng, he really didn't expect Bai Tianhong and Sha Yu to be able to do it to such an extent. Okay, this is what you forced me to do. Let's show you the mighty Vajra palm as a body cultivator. Yifeng was also stunned when he looked at Luo Kai, who pushed him away from the clod. I was sitting well, why are you pushing me? Luo Kai is crazy. he doesn't want to please Yifeng, the god of wealth, but is trying to kill him instead. Bai Tianhong and Sha Yu, who saw this scene, also showed puzzled expressions. Everyone is a disciple of sect, why is there a special treatment for junior brothers? To be fair and just, we have to look at elder Luo Kai. Wu Tianzhao also had their own ideas at this time. It was because they were treated differently from Yifeng, which made them feel like they were picked up by sect. But only Lang Wufeng felt that things would never be so simple. After all, he was the first batch to enter the sect. Sha Tianyu and Luo Kai who came later, which one was not for Yifeng, he knew this very well. Pong, pong, pong. At this moment, Luo Kai turned the knife into his hand, and as his hand knife turned into an afterimage and bombarded the clod continuously, muffled noises followed, and the earth and rocks flew, and the picture was extremely strange. 15 seconds later, when an exquisite soil chair appeared in everyone's sight, everyone was instantly dumbfounded. Yifeng, sit down quickly. Luo Kai smiled and pressed Yifeng, who was confused, on the soil chair, and then looked at Bai Tianhong and Sha Yu with a smug look. What are you doing here? Our three elders don't hesitate to waste their precious time to guide you in your practice. You are still not happy, go back to me and continue to practice. Immediately afterwards, Luo Kai reprimanded Wu Tianzhao and Lang Wufeng directly. The speaker has no intention, the listener has the heart. System, can the power of the 100,000 feather sword array flags be controlled? Yifeng thought that if the power of the 1,000 feather sword array flag could be controlled, wouldn't it just be able to help the 5 brothers and sisters and Wufeng's cultivation? The flags that are enough to obliterate the peak powerhouses of the 9th stage in the Transcends Tribulation realm are used for actual combat training. This is a proper loser. 5 Tianzhao, Lang Wufeng, you are amazing. You are selfless. You are a loser. But don't be so rude to us. Ding. It can be regulated. If it is not used by the host, other people need to drop their blood to recognize the master to fully control the power of the formation flag. No matter what the power of the formation flag is, the duration of each formation flag is 10 hours. Done. Hearing the system's answer, Yifeng also slapped his thigh in excitement, and he felt more and more that he was born for the prodigal. Seeing Yifeng who was slapping his thighs in excitement, everyone's faces were full of question marks, and they had no idea why Yifeng was suddenly excited. 3 elders, I just saw the training of the senior brothers, and I don't think it has much effect. Saying that, a flag appeared in Yifeng's hand, and said again, this is a 9th rank 9th order killing array flag, and it can also control the power of the killing array, and use this killing array to temper the brothers. Combat experience and martial skill control are the best fit. Crazy. We will endure your failure, but can you be a person? Use the killing formation that is enough to obliterate the peak powerhouses of the 9th stage in the Transcends Tribulation realm to temper us. You want to kill us. There must be a limit to the prodigal, you are crazy. Wu Tianzhao and Lang Wufeng are completely crazy at this moment. They thought that Yifeng could save them from the dire dilemma. Who would have thought that Yifeng not only failed to save them, but also added a fire? Who can stand it? Yifeng, isn't this a bit too extravagant? At this time, Luo Kai also asked with facial twitches. After all, he was the 4th stage in the Transcends Tribulation realm. Bai Tianhong and Sha Yukai were the 3rd stage in the Transcends Tribulation realm. It is no exaggeration to say that once the flag is activated, it will kill them. 3 people in 100 back and forth are enough. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.